And going live in 5, 4, 3. Oh, live now. And Tuffley's here.
Oh, good.
Somebody showed up.
I don't know what happened to the link. I sent it.
I know. I'm sitting there going, I'm missing something. I'm missing something very important. I wrote my recommendations down, which I'm not going to use.
Which you're not going to use.
I will probably forget what they are. I usually do.
You wrote them down. Are you going to forget where you wrote them?
Yes.
Okay.
Tell us now, and then we'll promise to remind you later.
It is 3 hours, Wedge. You can forget a lot in 3 hours.
Shoot him now. Shoot him now.
By the way, question. Do I sound different than I normally do? To you, Tuffley?
No. Should you?
It's just me.
Does Tuffley sound different than you? Yes, does Tuffley sound different than you, Widge?
See if you can spot the error.
Widge is not interested in this conversation at all.
No, because I just got an email from you
saying
about...
Link?
Because I was telling you that you never said I never got a thing from a link, so I just thought that maybe you didn't see it because the previous subject line was slightly confusing, maybe. So I sent you a thing. I sent you
never check spam.
I sent you a thing to check the thing because I thought maybe the thing never came to me, but it did come to other people sometime through the thing.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
But at the end of the day, none of us got it until the second one. Did you get the second one?
Yeah, I got the second one.
It didn't go into spam, right? It must have been the wombat.
Must have been the wombat.
The wombat.
I usually blame the wombat.
Yeah, you put a wombat on there on the original
That's not
email.
A wombat. That's not a wombat.
Oh, it's not a wombat? What is it?
It's a capybara.
Oh, it's a capybara. Oh, with a hat on.
Yeah, it's the head that threw you.
Yeah.
See, he thought wombat, which is why he didn't get the email with the correct animal on it.
That is interesting to just a few of us.
And this is still less messy than F1 was on Sunday. So there you go.
Oh my lord! Can we talk about? Let's not talk about that. I'm a Charles Leclerc fan, and maybe this year he'll finish.
I'm so sorry.
Second race. Who knows? It's possible.
He may finish one or two races.
What? It's this thing called Formula One.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. People drive cars really fast but make left and right turns.
Here's the sad bit. See, there's the capybara. Here's the sad bit. Is you said it's not as messy as F1, and I instantly thought, what's a help key got to do with anything? I honestly did. I'm not even kidding. I honestly did not. Formula One did not enter my mind at all. Where's my?
I have not been buried in fallen records.
Joe says hi. Need coffee. Happy to see Tuffley hasn't been buried in fallen records yet.
It's all orderly and fine. It's all good.
Not for lack of trying.
You can't tell. It's fine. You can't tell. It's all fine. I'm not getting 3 records this week.
Yeah, all the records are off, just off camera that way.
Yeah, they're below camera.
Oh,
they're below camera.
You're sitting on them.
No, that would be bad. Obviously,
hey, we
obviously record care. But no, that seems to be going well, and I'm not overloaded with them. Yet.
Rox is here. Hello, Rox. Oh no, JJ's here too.
JJ. Hey, they got the link. Awesome.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Finally.
I have no idea what the hell happened to the first one.
That's all right. It's fine.
So,
we're here now. So that's all that matters is we're here now.
Rox, for some reason, when you first popped up, I was like, okay, she's here to tell our fortune. It looks like you have this shawl, and you're in this parlor area, and you you look wise as always, and I'm like, oh,
Is-
speak to us. Give us the knowledge.
Don't sue anybody. Do not rent to people.
Do not rent to people. Full stop. That's it. That's the end of the.
Yes, it is.
Well, Widget was either that or she's leaving us for the pool boy.
I've drawn the lawyer inverted.
Yeah, no, don't rent to anybody. Just don't. Just and get it in writing if you do. But even if you do,
So your advice is to
rent.
have lease documents and rental agreements when you're renting out property.
yes,
That's some sage advice.
it is. It is.
So how many people don't have renters agreements in writing that you see every day?
It's a fair amount. And then
Lord.
they get like amorphous. Then it's like, but yeah,
Wait, the people become amorphous?
Yeah, they do. Oh my god.
Or they become anamorphs. Which are they?
As long as they don't become Morbius.
Ooh.
No, so
There can only be one.
So they'll start saying like, but
That's
yes, there's a rental agreement. There is a lease. However, we have this verbal contract.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, I called up to. Do you remember the he died a long time ago, but he used to give like financial advice on the radio. Wasn't just financial advice, like sort of pseudo legal advice. I want to say his name was Bill Williams or Bruce Williams or something like that. He was like a nationally syndicated guy. He played at night, usually before Widget's favorite guy that I can't remember his name.
Art Bell?
Art Bell.
Art Bell, yeah, usually like in that time slot before that. But anyway, I called up one day and I waited, because I'd been listening to him on AM radio forever, and I waited and I waited and waited on the line, and finally I asked him the question. I said, basically we were trying to sublet our place because we got a verbal agreement from somebody that said we could do that, and this is in Tallahassee, and of course they would always say that, but it would never work out right. He's like, yeah, you don't have anything. I'm like, but he said, did he write it down? No. You have zero. It doesn't matter what. None of the rest of this conversation matters. You don't have anything. If he decides to come after you, he can come after you.
No.
They want to charge you rent till the end and charge these other people rent that you've sort of pseudo rented their place to them. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yes. And then they trashed. And then we stopped payment because the landlord didn't work on something. It's just like, well, that's against the law. Stopping payments against the law. I'm not practicing law. I'm just don't do it.
So it looks like it was Bruce Williams, and it goes to show kind of what the last couple of years have been like. I mean, he did die a number of years ago, but it looks like he died in 2019.
Bruce
Williams? Many years ago, I was expecting like.
All those decades ago.
What was the name of his program?
That doesn't. I just was looking on Wikipedia, so I haven't gotten that far. The Bruce Williams Show.
Oh, yeah. In fact, yes.
You know what? Here's the thing about shows like that. You can probably still listen to those and still get sage advice because it doesn't change, really.
Oh, he's still doing that show.
No, well, he's not now.
Well, syndication, you can do anything.
Well, yeah.
Well, hold on. Let me ask ChatGPT real quick. Maybe they've resurrected him.
Oh my
again.
gosh, yeah.
His let's see.
Even in death, he couldn't come up with a good name for his radio show.
Ooh. Nice.
Nice.
Oh, very nice. So that Danhausen, while you're looking that up.
Danhausen, yes.
Danhausen, yeah. So that league is is under I guess under the management of one of the Shad Khan's sons
Yeah,
of the
Tony.
Jaguars.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I am frustrated with the fact that in order to put out entertainment, you have to be a billionaire, but billionaires are evil. So you support the talent, but don't support the management. That's just the way I operate.
The whole WWE UFC thing just sounds like a nightmare.
Oh, Jesus Christ. The only thing that's good about that is at least they didn't sell to the fucking Saudis, which it looked like they were going to do.
Yeah.
Wait, who? What? Who was going to do that?
WWE.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, the first heavily rumored buyer was going to be a Saudi investment firm.
Well, see, the thing is, though, the Saudis typically don't want to buy things wholesale. They just want to invest.
Yeah.
Like, I just found out they just bought into 10% of Nintendo.
Ew.
Oh wow!
I know.
But again, part of the reason that Vince McMahon, who was forced
They just
out,
invest.
was interested in the Saudis because then they would have money and then he would have the power
Yes.
to force himself back onto the board, which also the UFC deal allowed him to do.
Yeah. So
Which is
that
why they
sounds-
didn't want to go to places like other companies that were interested, like NBC and fuck, what was the other? Disney, because they didn't want someone who was accused of that much sexual misconduct on the board. So they went with someone that had no problem with him staying on the board.
Oh.
Yep.
Billionaires are evil.
Yeah.
I mean, but really, they're just a small population or small part of the population. So, how evil could they be?
Oh my God! Did you guys not watch the? I know this is showing my age, but I think last week there was the.
Oh my God! You
eBay?
can remember last week? You must be
Yeah.
old.
No, not last week.
Well, she must not be old.
So
Showing my age last week.
the
can't
upper
remember that for
management
breakfast, for
of
fuck's sake.
eBay went after this old couple
Oh yeah, I saw that.
in
60 Minutes thing?
Massachusetts.
Oh God,
Who-
yeah.
Created
That's
sort
nuts.
of it is nuts. So a couple in
I am so glad Joe Quesada didn't really take it personally when I wrote that shit about him years ago. Really happy that worked out. Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Joe, for not
Yeah.
taking revenge.
so
But
you-
his art
So,
is
so what happened? What happened? I want to know. I'm dying to know.
so this couple
But
started
but really, what happened?
a couple. This husband and
Of
wife
people?
started a publication. Okay, this happened. All industries have publications of what is going on in the industry.
Yep.
Theirs was online sales, and somehow, and the woman really understood the industry of selling, buying. These are the trends. So it was a trade. So they did an online, pretty much trade journal. Okay. Well,
Okay.
she managed 1 year to find out how much money the CEO made. And so,
Of eBay.
of eBay, yeah, sorry. And
She
basic-
published a story. Yeah,
she published a
about how
story
much
about
they-
his pay. And he pretty much ordered her to be burned.
like his security department to go.
Wait. Literally burned?
Well, they harassed her really badly. Her and her husband. They stalked them. They sent like obscene items to their house.
Because they published his how much he was
Yeah.
making?
he wanted revenge. Yes, and he's like, burn them. It was just like, what?
Because nothing says keep my stuff secret like a crate of free dildos.
Yes. So
Yeah, that's when you're like, joke's on you, I'm into that shit.
So
We're gonna resell
there's this 60-minute thing.
You
and
know,
I
when we
just watched it.
list them, you're gonna know where they came from.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So they ousted the guy some time ago, but he's like, when they found out the Massachusetts legal department started going after eBay, they're like, okay, this is now a crime scene. I mean, they were stalked. They found the 7 people on the security that worked for eBay.
Yeah, it's the security members of the security team for eBay.
I
Yes.
remember this now. Yes.
Yeah.
I remember this.
So they stalked them. They sent like
somebody
saw
an expensive
masks.
death wreath.
Yes, saying that she's
Sorry
going
for your
down.
loss.
Yeah.
They sent things to the husband going, somebody's going to kill her, that sort of stuff.
Yep. Like a book on how to grieve after the loss of
After
a loved
losing a loved one. Yes.
And then
wasn't
then
there
the
something
wreath
where
came.
the CEO was like trying to say, "Oh, I didn't say to do that," and they just took it to extremes.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah, I
some
remember this.
two female Massachusetts attorneys. She's like, no, that ain't right. She's like, they know when their profits are above, they know everything. And all of a sudden they don't know about this little hatchet job on a couple out in Massachusetts.
Well, mean, if they were being really secretive about it, they wouldn't have done everything using, eBay corporate cards.
Yes.
Which they did.
Yep, because they
all
used
of it was easily traceable back to eBay.
Yeah, and it started with the car that the husband took a photo of the license plate. It was rented, and they found the people at a hotel.
Yep.
It's crazy. It's like, that ain't good security.
No.
Maybe your security people aren't as good as they say they are. If they can't even conceal the horrible things they're doing to an old couple in Massachusetts without the receipts coming back, maybe they're not that good after all. Maybe they're good enough for eBay, but not anywhere else.
But going back to like Shad Khan there, JJ, have you seen the Kismet? Shad Khan's villain mega yacht?
Oh no, I haven't.
Oh,
everyone has villain mega yachts now.
Oh, this one is. It's.
I mean, considering the part of the reason that people were excited when he formed AEW was that Tony Khan was getting money from his father, and that his father was one of the few people that had enough money to outspend Vince McMahon, so Vince McMahon couldn't like smother them out of existence.
Yeah,
right.
Because like a lot of the other indie companies, Vince would go around and make sure that they couldn't book venues, so they couldn't tour, and so they could only make money in their one little spot.
Right.
And you can't do that when the Khans have so much more money than you, which means that they can afford to bleed money on owning the Jaguars and a wrestling corporation, and I think they own another team in Florida too, but I don't remember.
But you know what?
The Panthers, I thought. I mean,
probably.
Yeah.
But the weird thing is, out of all the things Shad Khan's done, he failed with a little bakery over near me. It's like, no, don't buy into anything he does. If he can't make Edgewood Bakery go, then no. It failed.
Yeah, but as someone who was a baker for a long time, it's harder than you think.
Well, it was really. Here's the thing: the bakery has been around since for 40 years, and then this new couple wanted to buy the bakery from the old owners. They got backing from Shad Khan, and they spent all the money. And then it's just like he didn't put anybody in to replace, to do any,
I saw that on a smaller scale back when I lived in Mississippi. I worked for a Jewish delicatessen that had been around at that point for like 35 years until the owner retired. Sold it to a dude who wanted to give it to his grandchildren. And again, the person who bought it was a self-made gazillionaire. He's the one who literally brought frozen food to Mississippi He was the first person to buy like ice trucks and like make frozen food available in the state of Mississippi.
And
he wasn't carrying it by hand.
He might
or
have
one of those bindles.
I met the guy. The guy was like older than shit, so he might have. But
the guy from eBay also threatened to have him burned.
Yeah. And so yeah, he gave it to his grandsons who didn't care anything about the business whatsoever, and money went missing left and right. And so this business, who had been very, very successful, made it another 2 years, I think it was, before they closed it.
Ooh.
I was a manager there for about 6 months and saw the writing on the wall and went, oh, wait, there's hundreds of dollars disappearing every day. Somebody is eventually going to get blamed, and I'll bet it's not going to be the 2 grandkids with coke habits. It's probably going to be the long hair that's worked here for a long time.
Yeah.
So,
that's a lot to be written on a wall.
It was very, very
fine. It was in a very small font. Yeah.
It was in Comic Sans, so it fit really well. It was very legible.
And most people didn't even want to look at it because it was
very well formatted, just in a block.
Yeah.
So I just looked, and apparently one of the guys who was stalking the couple, what was it, October? What was it? It was, September. September was sentenced to 5 years.
Yep.
And another one was sentenced to 2 years, and the couple still has a civil lawsuit against the CEO guy. So
that's going to be a lot of money.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I hear money's pretty popular.
It is, yes. And make sure you make the most out of your mediations, kids.
Hey,
because you don't want to go to trial.
I just lost a bunch of money this week when I paid my taxes. Oregon raised their tax rate, and I owed a shit ton of state taxes.
Ooh. Sorry.
Which is fun.
You know, there's
John, John, just stop it. We live in Florida. We can't fathom state tax.
Well, yeah, and I don't want to. But the thing is about Oregon, not only did they raise their state taxes, but also I barely worked last year, so I was shocked.
Oh.
JJ, hang on. John, for all the money you're saving in taxes, you're going to be paying in insurance for the rest of your life.
This is true.
I'm not going to be here long enough for that to happen.
DeSantis is going to make sure insurance rates.
We're gonna have to. We're gonna have a couple billion we're gonna have to pay off after he tries to screw over Disney one more time.
You're gonna pay for Disney sewers. That's what you're gonna get. So JJ, you're fine.
Yeah.
Now, Rocks.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that move that the board did. And I know that you serve on boards that are very similar to that. I've served on homeowners associations, and the reality is what they did was complete genius and something that would be pulled off in any HOA.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Especially if you're trying to screw the board coming in after you.
Yep.
And it's completely legal.
Yep.
I mean, I'm sure someone's going to try and find a loophole, but they gave Disney time to figure it out. So
unless DeSantis
that was their
goes
biggest
to the
mistake.
assassins in the UK, that's not going to work out very well.
Oh yeah,
for them.
the 21 years past the
current living descendants of King George III. Yes.
Yeah.
So that means the grandkids.
Yep. So
the thing is,
their youngest grandkid that's currently alive.
So yeah, they're gonna have to get cracking on the.
Well, maybe they could take a cue from eBay and.
But the in perpetuity thing about it, that's not even the genius part. The genius part was just signing over all the rights and saying, yeah, by the way, you still get to keep managing these people we didn't want to deal with in the first place, the roads and the things. You still have to do it because we have all the votes. And that's the other thing too, is that they're like, because it is sort of an HOA structure. Disney had as many votes as they wanted to, so even if they, I'm not 100% sure how it was all structured, but if it's structured like any HOA, every person gets a set number of votes based upon your building. In our case, in my neighborhood, it's just one per per address.
Well,
and some other places they give more rights to more people that have more address. You know, right?
And not only that, with Disney property, if it so with gated communities, so this is where land use and zoning attorneys make a lot of money. So another thing that could be probably utilized is what is called a PUD, which is a planned unit development, which was developed specifically for gated communities.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is residential. However, if for some reason the gated community wanted to build like one structure that had like 4 units or something,
Mm-hmm.
they would then circumvent the HOA, petition for what is called a PUD, planned unit development, specifically in that. Well, that worked, but here's the thing: the land use and zoning attorneys now use this thing in like historic developments. Like we had an issue with that. So it's this, because you're specifically pinpointing like a little bit. So I was surprised really when DeSantis went after them. Like, do you not know?
Mm-hmm.
You know that
no. The answer is
we
no.
don't pay taxes, really, because the amount of
money Disney
tourism
makes.
we have.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
it was the money they bring in. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Disney World is a gated community. It just has Space Mountain in it.
Yes. True.
Well, and the thing is, so this argument started when it was it Bob Chadwick,
Mm-hmm.
who was the guy that Disney fired for being an idiot and getting into this
Right.
with. Now they've got Bob Iger in there,
Yeah.
and to reuse the comment that I was having with my friend this morning, DeSantis is fighting with a blunt object. He's swinging a big club.
Mm-hmm.
Iger has a very, very sharp rapier.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time the club even starts moving, he's already cut your jugular and both Achilles tendons.
Right.
Yep.
Yes. And two, the army of lawyers Disney has is vast compared to the state attorneys DeSantis has.
And the brilliance of it was completely above board.
Yes.
It was noticed. They read out what the thing was. They gave people a chance to speak about it. No one wanted to speak about it. No. All right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Let's take advantage of this boring shit.
Which is funny because this is the funny thing is since the Disney brand, we'll call it that, is left leaning. Except, when it comes to money, then it's, everybody wants to be
whoever. It doesn't matter what.
Well,
yeah.
Everybody's green.
Well, here's the thing: you compare Disney to the Villages, and the Villages I think it's north of you, right, John?
Yeah, north. Yeah.
So they're
sort of in the middle of nowhere, but yeah.
Not really. They jumped 301, from what I understand. So
well, I mean, but they're sort of in the middle of the state, in the middle of sort of
But it's this now giant 55 and over, and it's very right leaning. So those are like DeSantis's people and stuff. And I was watching Vice about the way the Villages is. The way they run things, because it is a gated community kind of, except for one of the roads is a state road. So one old lady's like, yeah, she goes, I don't know what they spray here, but there's no mosquitoes. And I'm okay with that. So I know an attorney I mediate with every once in a while. She's got like a little farm, and she's like, yeah, they jumped 308 or whatever, meaning they're now encroaching into, they're looking at, elderly cattle rancher people who still have own a lot of tract of land, and they're trying to buy up more for more development. and she wants to get into beekeeping. And I said, you may want to think about that. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, well, then I sent her the thing on, Vice and about the mosquitoes. Who knows what they're spraying in that area?
I just had a thought for a pitch for a show, kind of like Yellowstone, but with beekeepers.
Yeah.
I don't think Kevin Costner will do that show either, but
yeah, that's it. The villages right there.
Well, like I said, just to point out, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's like it's just in the middle of the state. There's nothing. If you don't know anything about the area, but basically, there's nothing in this section between Dade City and Ocala. It's just, there's the villages. It's where everyone goes to die.
It's where everyone goes to die. Yeah.
Well, it's centrally located for most hurricanes.
Yeah.
And to your point, they look like they've jumped a couple of roads here.
Yep.
30. Oh, there it is, right there. 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they started encroaching on this area.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's been your Florida geography hour.
Can we get the latest Doppler readings? Can we figure out
Zone talk. Oh, speaking of which, somebody had a meme about The Mandalorian having an episode about zoning. Where they're showing the map. It's like, hey, where are the train tracks? And where's this? It's like, wow, you're not really planning this well, are you? So.
Well, you think about it, Star Wars really is Settlers of Catan.
Well, if George Lucas had his way, it would all just be Senate hearing after Senate hearing.
Yes.
I wouldn't mind that. It would be
Star
like
Wars
Star Wars Succession.
A Star Wars would have been C-SPAN.
I watched Succession and I just imagine everybody's really wearing, Star Wars clothes.
Just put
Brian Cox is Palpatine.
Why isn't Brian Cox in a Star Wars?
I know. Why isn't he? Well, I think that's why, Succession is only running, 4 seasons, so he can get on the Star Wars somewhere.
I mean, he was already the head of Weapon X. Come on.
Yeah. The problem was that you've never been on or auditioned for SNL. And they're so busy filling their background characters with people who should be or have been on SNL.
Yeah. Was Amy Sedaris ever on it?
No, but should have been.
She's
in the should have been.
Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I'll tell you this. Speaking of that, Pedro Pascal's SNL was freaking almost flawless.
Oh my God, that was so good.
Dude came prepared. Dude, yeah. I think I only caught him looking at the cue cards like maybe once or twice. Mm-hmm. He knew his lines.
Was ready to go.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
So apparently, when Janine Garofalo left SNL in 1995, Amy Sedaris auditioned to take her place, but she was doing a one-woman show at the time, and so turned it down, and they went with Molly Shannon instead.
Oh, wow.
So there you go.
When did Strangers with Candy come out? That was in the 20...
Later.
Later, yeah.
That was later.
Yeah. But she's in
Not
Star
much
Wars.
Later, but later.
Well, she's become an integral part of The Mandalorian.
She has. Though her wig didn't look
And
right.
some Jawas, if you know what I mean. Waka waka.
Warning.
I don't think the wig's supposed to look right. I mean, there's nothing about Pele that's supposed to look right.
Well, this is true. This is true.
Now, the thing that I appreciate about that character is nothing supposed to look right with that.
No.
Apparently, to live in the villages, you have to own a golf cart.
You do, yes.
I see nothing but golf carts.
It's required, and you have to do line dancing. Oh, and pickleball.
Oh God. Oh.
Man, pickleball. Okay. Go ahead.
Can someone explain pickleball to me?
Is it wrong that I actually want to start playing it?
It is.
What is pickleball?
It's
It's
ping pong.
You've played it. You just don't know you have.
it's wiffle ball with flat panel boards. Pop, pop, pop.
Yeah,
I think JJ has a legitimate answer though.
No,
Yeah.
ping pong on a tennis court. Yeah,
It is.
Oh, okay. Wait,
But
that's
you
so it's a
use
George
Wait,
Carlin
wait.
joke.
For everyone who thought the F1 conversation at the beginning was obscure, go ahead.
but
No,
the thing
wait. That's a George Carlin joke. It was the whole thing about tennis is just ping pong played while standing on the
Yes.
table. That's
Yeah. Well,
how every joke is. How every sport is
Right.
basically goes back to ping pong.
But in this case, they replaced the ping pong ball with a wiffle ball, and they replaced the ping pong paddles with ping pong ball paddles.
but they're
they still
bigger.
play with the wooden
They're
paddles.
bigger.
Yeah, they're a little bigger, but the pickleball paddles are basically just oversized ping pong paddles, and you play it with a wiffle ball bat, and it's real loud. And one of the expensive communities here in Oregon has sued to shut down a pickleball court because all the people with expensive houses didn't like the fact that all day long they kept hearing.
Pop, 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 pop. Yep.
I believe ESPN2 has a weekly show for it now.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Of course they do.
Well, yeah, John McEnroe, who made fun of it, is now
Well-
in a tournament for the prize is like $1 million.
It is. I mean, they always say this whenever you see anything about pickleball, but it is America's fastest growing sport.
I thought cornhole was.
According to people who play cornhole.
That's what I'd say. Maybe if you were in the cast of The Music Man in that era.
Ha!
I don't know. During COVID, they were actually showing cornhole and stuff. Yeah. But
Yeah, it's cornhole, and that starts with C, and that rhymes with T, and that stands for trouble.
pickleball talk. Yeah.
I do.
By the way, in case you were curious, the highest governing body of pickleball is the International Federation of Pickleball.
Oh,
They haven't joined Starfleet yet, but they're in negotiations.
Well, what about
Weirdly, though, they joined NATO today just out of spite.
They have to make sure that land use and zoning doesn't encroach upon
Hey,
them.
Sweden, guess what? You still didn't make it.
You're not in the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame either. Sorry.
Sorry, Europe.
Sorry, Black Sabbath. Actually, Sabbath made it, didn't they?
Sabbath
I was worried. Okay, hold on. Now I got to find out.
Sabbath said.
Yeah, I pulled
Okay.
the one hard rock band that I.
Sabbath said because that was the deal where Ozzy and Sharon didn't want Ronnie to get inducted with Black
Right.
Sabbath. He got elbowed out of that induction.
He's already dead. Let him get.
I know.
Yeah, I pretty much.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny last year when Dolly Parton was like, "I don't want to go in."
Yeah.
Or people were like, "Do you put the Sex Pistols in?" And none of them showed up. They're going to
Right.
put you in.
Yeah, it's not like you have a say. We're just telling you you're there.
You're there.
You're
I'm
just
glad
there.
you.
I'm glad you're. Oh,
I did like the thing that Dolly said though was that she didn't feel like she had done a rock album, but she'd be up for doing a rock album, and
yeah,
then I
she's
think
doing
she was
one
like,
now.
she's doing okay, great.
She's
She
doing it
was
now.
producing it.
Who was it? She was.
She's doing a metal. She's touring with Iron Maiden now.
Don't
Who's-
fucking play. I would go see that
Well,
in a
she
fucking
did
heartbeat.
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
I don't know.
Are you
She
kidding?
did that compilation thing with Belinda Carlisle.
She's doing an album. With,
Stefan.
So who's producing the album though?
I don't know who's producing the album, but she's got she's recording stuff with Stevie Nicks and.
I mean, she already did. Well, she do a cover of Stairway to Heaven, and I know she already did.
Yeah, she
Shine.
did a bluegrass
by-
cover of
Yeah, she did Shine by Collective Soul.
Yep. She did a bluegrass album that was covers that she did that on.
And she did a live cover of Yakety Sax. I know that.
Yeah, and,
True story.
and there's talk about Willie going in too.
Yeah, Willie's on the ballot this year. It looks like he might get in.
I'm all for it.
I'm all for.
Absolutely.
I am all for if this happens, and I don't think it will because I'm not that lucky. That you get the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction with Willie Nelson, Joy Division, New Order, and Kate Bush.
Oh, yeah.
That just sounds great, but it won't happen. Like, they're all on the ballot, but I don't think they're going to get in. I think Willie's probably going to make it, though.
He's about to play a festival here this summer, and I didn't realize it was the name of a city in Oregon. I was like, why is Willie Nelson playing the Farewell Festival? No.
There's a place called Farewell, Oregon.
Apparently. Yeah. But when you hear that a 90-year-old, well, a man who will be 90 in like 2 weeks, a 90-year-old man is playing the Farewell Festival, you're like, no.
No, it's not allowed.
You don't get to headline the fucking Farewell Festival, and that means I don't know something.
Although,
He's already released.
Maiden's also on the ballot, so if Willie gets in with Maiden.
Ooh. I want to hear Trigger play the opening riff to the Trooper.
I want to hear Maiden backing up Willie singing "You Were Always on My Mind."
Oh, that jam! That's going to be great on the road again.
Those are very specific sonic jokes. So I appreciate anyone who can actually that has the musical background that they can actually follow the musical sounds that we just created.
I think.
I want if they get inducted, if they all get inducted, I want Willie singing lead on Local First Apart.
I think.
And I'd love to hear Willie's harmonica player play with Maiden.
Yes. Oh, now you're talking. That's what. What was it? Well, you had what was it? The Metallica and orchestra thing that they did, wasn't it S&M like Metallica?
Yeah. They've done two of those.
They did two. The first one's good.
Yes.
So you do.
I think I just threw out that CD the other day.
What? A lot of people have.
Well, I think
that is the one you
Tuffley,
can find in discount bins.
Tuffley, I think you need Rick Rubin producing a Dolly Parton album.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta look up who's actually making that. Hang on, research.
Well, we're waiting. Since we're on the subject of music, and this is music.
Yes.
Related. Joseph is asking if anybody's watched Daisy Jones and the Six. I've been meaning to, or heard the new Boy Genius.
The Boy Genius. That was actually one of my recommendations, but I'll go ahead and do it now. I have, however,
thanks, Joseph.
I have, however, have not seen the new Monkeys yet, so I can't speak to how good it is.
So Daisy Jones and the Six just sounds like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
That's based on a book, right?
That's based on a cartoon. That's based on a murder mystery.
Oh, it's Josie and the Pussycats for adults. That's what it is.
I don't know. I've been meaning to watch it. It looked interesting.
Just wait till they go into space.
The space
Gilligan's
season is always
Planet.
better.
Yep.
So I'm guessing the answer is no. No one has seen it.
We just made season 2 way better though.
Yep.
Well, it was
You're
funny
welcome.
because
It involves a talking shark.
Yeah.
Although, did you see the stat on Rings of Power that like less than 30% or a little over 30% of everyone who watched Rings of Power, of the total number of viewers of Rings of Power, actually finished it?
Ooh.
That stat came out, and I'm like, of course. How much is that per viewer?
How many people did finish it? Because I just finished it. I mean, I might have started it when it first came out, and I just finished it last week. It wasn't something I kept running back to.
Did you have to like stop and process where in the timeline it fit, or what?
I just wasn't holding my interest very well. I mean, it was well done.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Looked like they spent all the money. But just like, okay. Joseph also pointed out that, the book that Daisy and the Six, Daisy Jones and the Six, was based on a book that his wife loved. I'm presuming him at this point, but yes.
I don't have a producer on the Dolly Parton record, but apparently Elton John's on it, McCartney's on it, Miley Cyrus is on it, John Fogerty's on it, Belinda Carlisle's on it, Cyndi Lauper's on it.
I'll try anything once.
Supposedly it's a double album and it comes out late summer.
Okay then.
And they're still trying to get people for it.
I would assume it's not hard. If you're like,
apparently she'd like to have Jagger on it.
Okay.
Sorry, Dolly Parton. I just wrecked that entire conversation. Sorry about that.
I'm kind of amazed. Like Jack White isn't on it. That seems like it would be right up his alley.
He's
what?
He's in 5 other bands. What is he?
No, I know, but what was the Oh shit. Was it Loretta Lynn that he?
Yeah, it was Loretta Lynn. He produced.
Loretta Lynn album. Yeah.
He did he produced I think it was 2 Loretta Lynn albums, and then he produced a couple of tracks on, or some of her albums after that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were good. Good stuff.
He did that in Wanda Jackson. He did the Wanda Jackson record too.
That's what I was thinking of, but yes, Wanda Jackson as well. So that's why I said it.
Wanda Jackson
like
record was really good.
Yes, it was. It was really damn good. Oh, so since we covered music, what is what's that?
No, I was laughing because I just realized I've been talking, and I wondered why you didn't listen to what I said, and I've been muted.
Oh,
You're muted.
Please.
Please,
JJ, what the hell did you say?
Oh, I was just saying. I was saying the Loretta Lynn album was fantastic. Van Rose is a great album.
Oh yeah.
And the only thing is that I think it's funny that the main single off that was a song called Portland, Oregon, where he talks about drinking slow gin fizz, and I can't think of a single bar that in this town that I have ever seen a slow gin fizz.
Must have been during the dream of the 90s, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say the Oscars. Do we have any reaction to the Oscars? Beyond Michelle Yeoh, fuck yeah.
It was way less slap heavy than previous ones.
I prefer my Oscars with a penalty box, so I needed like minor penalties. What is that? That's not fair. There was donkey stroking. What in the hell?
I just absolutely fucking adore that the fact that the people that just a couple of years ago made a movie about a farting Daniel Radcliffe corpse now have a fucking Oscar, and they didn't change their sensibilities whatsoever.
No.
They made the movie they wanted to make, and it's the same kind of movie as the farting Daniel Radcliffe corpse movie. It just was the right movie at the right time, and I love it.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that they won Best Editing, and like their editing team, they taught themselves over YouTube, and this is like the first movie they've ever edited, is what I understand.
It's also the only Oscar-winning movie that I can remember that has awards used as butt plugs.
Yes. Yep.
Yes. And I think didn't Jamie Lee Curtis say that her Oscar is right next to her butt plug award from the set? Yeah.
So, and the fact that so many of the actors were recognized was it was if that Oscars celebration was nothing about nothing other than giving those guys their flowers for making amazing flicks, that's fine.
Yeah.
It was a worthwhile year. It was better than Green Book.
Well,
it was one of those things.
So I really would like to plug the Spirit Awards, where they gave James Wan.
Yes.
Man, his acceptance speech was so cool. So where he's speaking in Cantonese, he's like, "We're in Cantonese," and they let him have the floor. It was really good. It was really great for him.
But it was one of those things where if you were watching the ceremony at a certain point, you're trying to figure out, okay, so All Quiet on the Western Front won foreign film. This film won screenplay. You're trying to figure out, okay, according to how this usually goes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because my theory, we were going to get to the end of it, and Fabelmans was going to fucking win Best Picture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they like filmed.
Wait, you didn't think that Top Gun was going to win?
No.
Maverick?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Why is that?
Yeah, because the Academy is into putting things into Best Picture that have no chance of winning, but it's a thing you might have seen. So that's why that happens. Because Avatar, there was no way Avatar was ever going to win Best Picture. No way. Ever. But
did anyone see it? I didn't see it.
I mean,
I didn't even see the first one.
Apparently people did because it's made like $1.5 billion, but I can't find anyone who did.
Okay.
And not to make a joke that people made, 20 years ago when the first Avatar came out, but so, Rox, have you ever seen the movie Fern Gully? Okay.
This is Fern Gully 2, Return to the Meadow.
Well, too, let's see. So Everywhere All at Once, or that very long title, that came out in March, right?
Actually, I think it previewed in February. Actually,
okay,
it did the film festival thing. Before that, it did the film festival thing the fall before it actually came out, and then it started previewing in February, and then it went kind of wide in March.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, and then it went fully wide in April, I think.
Yeah. I was trying to remember because that's around the time I had my surgery this year, and I was trying to remember if I went to the movie with a cane or without a cane.
We got one of the previews around here.
So did you go with a Michael Caine or no?
No, it wasn't Michael Caine. It was
Raising Caine, that John Lithgow movie.
There you go.
Was it Caine from Kung Fu?
Raising Caine, a terrible movie that had one of the biggest jump scares in it. I remember walking out of the theater going, I'm okay with watching a dumb movie. I'm okay with watching a scary movie, but I don't like being scared by a dumb movie. But there's just
the whole movie, JJ, the whole movie was to lull you into a false sense of security, so that one jump scare would fuck with you. That's what it was.
That is how most Resident Evil games work, WEJ.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a parking lot security feed shot where suddenly like Lolita Davidovich looks at the camera just as the music hit, and it gave me a jump scare, and I was like, "Fuck, that worked! God damn it, this movie's stupid." How dare you have one perfectly timed jump scare?
Well, what is it? The most effective scare I've ever had was during Amadeus, where they cut to his father on the stairs, and he's all in black, and he does the thing, and I was like, "Holy shit!" Rox, you know what I'm talking about?
I do. Yeah.
It was a great cut.
It was.
So. But
you don't want that. You don't want to see that on your stairs. You just don't.
There's a lot of things I don't want to see on my stairs.
No, absolutely not. But Toughly, yeah, you're right. That I thought maybe they were going to split director and picture.
I was so afraid Fabelmans was going to win Best Picture.
Well, I thought they were
like
basically going to like. Well, you know, sometimes they'll try to award two films by like giving director to one and best picture to the other.
I thought Daniels was going to get director, and then like Fabelman or All Quiet was going to get best picture.
Yep.
And it looked like All Quiet was going to get something other than best foreign film.
Right.
They were.
How many did they win?
A lot of the technical categories. They won.
Yeah.
They won best foreign film. They won editing, I think.
No, I no.
They won sound design, I think.
Okay, yeah. Everything Everywhere won best editing.
Yeah, they won a lot of the technical stuff. I think they won. Costume design went to Wakanda Forever.
Yep.
And they won a lot of some of the craft categories.
They won best original score.
Yep.
Best production design and best cinematography.
Yep.
So yeah, best. And didn't they? didn't they finally like combine the sound awards so it makes more sense? Do I remember that?
I think they did. I think they changed it to sound design, didn't they?
Well, I think it's just like
design.
Yeah, I think it was just one sound.
Yeah.
Everyone's allowed to only submit one sound. That's it.
That's it.
It was like sound and then sound editing. Yeah, sound editing went away.
Hey, that's why the
2019.
Daniels didn't win for the other film. That's why. Because the sound.
Yeah,
they submitted.
because it just was like, why they were giving away, and it was just like, what is the difference between these two things? Anyway.
But yeah, there were a couple of like, there was a scary moment there where I started to think, oh yeah, Fableman's is gonna win this.
Do you get scared though? I don't pay attention enough.
I get basically, I get worried. I won't say because I want, when there is a film that I feel strongly about,
Right.
or a performance I feel strongly about, I get worried, I get concerned, but I don't get scared simply because I've been disappointed so many times by the Academy that I don't.
And the other thing is the trajectory that the film was getting, like scooping up literally all of the other
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's usually the thing of, well, either it's going to sweep everything or it's just going to miss Best Picture.
Right.
So.
Yeah, when they opened by winning the two supportings, I was like, okay, we could be in for a complete sweep here. And here's what is interesting, because I think it was
because I think we went through the stat that they were the first duo since the Coen brothers. So
yes, but I found this was interesting because I think I noticed this with what was it? Was it Top Gear Maverick that was up for screenplay as well? Is that right?
Yeah, that was
no. Yes, it was, and Glass Onion, but
yes.
they were up for best adapted screenplay.
Yes,
and I was like, what the?
And Glass Onion was an adapted because it was based on the character from the Benoit character.
It's a sequel
from the previous, so it's a sequel. So it's adapted, even though it's a completely different story.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was like, because at first I thought, okay, well, I thought it was original. Did he get a book and like rework the book to be for
because
Benoit Blanc? But no, it's a sequel.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd never noticed that before. I don't know how many.
I think they changed
get nominated.
that. I think that was a change.
Oh,
That's
okay.
been a rules change. Because I remember Knives Out was nominated for Best Original Screenplay. I think that might also be a factor. The first Knives Out was nominated. I think Knives Out was nominated for Best Original. So I think it was. That might also have something to do with it.
Right.
You can't have the sequel to the film that was nominated for Best Original.
But I mean, like Top Gear wasn't nominated for Best Original Screenplay. Yeah. I'm fairly certain.
Although Top Gear Maverick wasn't that great of a script either.
So now I will say the joke I've been holding on to.
Yes.
Please.
For Top Gear Maverick, do we have rules in place yet, or can ChatGPT win? Or ChatGPT? Is it ChatGPS? Anyway, AI win the Oscar for screenplay.
Yeah, I believe watch the first Top Gun, make notes, have a volleyball scene, film.
Yep. That's right. Yeah. Yep.
Have a bunch of unself-aware actors make a very homoerotic movie. Yes. Put in a heterosexual scene, a sex scene on a motorcycle, and planes.
So, can we get Quentin Tarantino's annotated Top Gun Maverick commentary soon? That would be fun. Because I really appreciated that theory from
was it
Swingers? Was it Swingers? The scene where Quentin Tarantino's breaking down. They've got Quentin Tarantino at a party scene breaking down the homoerotic notes in Top Gun. I remember that being a scene in a film somewhere where he ad-libbed the whole thing.
Oh, nice.
It's a callback to Reservoir Dogs with his explanation of Like a Virgin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think it's in Swingers. I'm not sure. It's a scene I think it's Swingers, where it's a party scene and he stopped someone who obviously didn't want to hear the whole speech about Top Gun's homoeroticism, and he just continues to note it. And I believe that was ad-libbed. So just make up something. Go for 5 minutes. Go.
I wouldn't be surprised at all. So, well, there's your Oscar commentary. I did put a
Pinocchio.
Oh, what? Yes.
Yeah.
Won.
Yeah,
Best
it
animated.
did. Mm-hmm.
Which I still need to watch. I've not seen it.
The Del Toro Pinocchio, because they were dueling Pinocchios last year.
Yeah, there were 3 of them actually.
Yes, there were 3 of them. So
who's the third?
Del Toro. Del Toro Pinocchio.
It starred Pauly Shore as Pinocchio, but it did come out. It's an animated film and did come out.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Oh my god.
And Jerry Mathers as Pinocchio.
But to hear like Pauly Shore, doing the whole like, I feel like a real boy. It's real bad. It's real bad. Every single line sounds like Pauly Shore, and I don't begrudge the poor sucker some money, but it
all goes back to Encino Man, doesn't it?
And it's dressed. Excuse me, and the animation looks like a iOS game.
Oh,
wait a second. So this is.
He's looking this up.
You've got to watch the trailer.
It's a Russian. It is a Russian animated film.
Yes.
That Pauly Shore did the English dub of Pinocchio.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, it was one of 3 Pinocchios last year.
Yeah, no, you're right. Seriously, I mean, I cannot be blamed for thinking, oh, Pauly Shore voiced Pinocchio. Sure he did, JJ. What in the world are you trying to pull?
I wish I was that random. I'm not.
Tell us about the volleyball scene in Top Gun.
Oh my God.
Oh, so what about
Wild.
so we'll see more of Brandon Fraser?
Well, I mean, he's been quite busy. I mean, he was doing Doom Patrol for all 4 seasons.
Yeah.
Which still blows my fucking mind that it got 4 seasons.
Although here's the thing, folks, if you were waiting for Michelle Yeoh to do that Star Trek show, you're not getting it. I severely doubt they're gonna want to pay up for her now.
Wow.
Well, I do want to see what was it.
I would love to see it. I'd love to see her do that because I really did like her character, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, American Born Chinese is coming, which I'm not sure what it is, but because it's got Key and Michelle in it, I definitely fucking want to see it. So, yeah, because where is it?
Because she's still attached to the Section 31 show, but I don't think that's going to get, because they went with because the Discovery spinoff Paramount just announced was Starfleet Academy. So I don't know if we're getting Section 31 or not. So that kind of seems doubtful that they're going to spin 2 shows off Discovery. But we'll see.
So yeah, Fraser is next in a Martin Scorsese Western crime drama.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
Called Killers of the Flower Moon, which is slated to come out this year.
He's got to do that. Let's do different stuff now.
Yeah,
he did.
Okay, so
Age of Innocence, which actually was not bad.
No, it was not bad. That was Daniel Day-Lewis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Winona Ryder. Yeah, that just showed. That was back before Winona Ryder. I mean, when she showed up in Stranger Things, she gave a great performance. But before then, like with Daniel Day-Lewis, it's like the Speed Force. If Daniel Day-Lewis is near you in a movie, your acting abilities. I want
Daniel Day-Lewis to method the Speed Force, Wedge. I don't think that's anything anybody really wants.
No, I'm just saying his acting abilities are like the Speed Force. He can give some of his acting ability to you because her best performances were that and the Crucible.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Daniel,
really
I need
good.
you to occupy the Speed Force. I need you to be the Speed Force.
Good Lord. So basically, and the other film he's in is comedy called Brothers. Let's see, with Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage as a pair of brothers. I'm not sure.
Well, if that's not filmed yet, it's going to be a while because he's going to be on Broadway for a bit.
Which one?
English?
Oh, no. Wrong name. Ignore me.
Sorry.
Ignore me.
Oh, okay.
Good night, Joe.
Not that it
What's
matters,
happening?
John. Just letting you know your mic's kind of hot.
Okay.
No, he
Not,
was.
not you, John. The other John.
Yes.
Wait, which John?
Yeah,
Not you, sir. Not you, sir. The other sir.
I'm not even talking.
Oh, I know. But when you cut your mic on, I could hear your room and stuff.
Yeah,
your
you got
mic's
some
hot.
ambient thing going
Yeah, your
on.
mic's hot enough that it's picking up your space. Yeah, it is picking that though. It is your mic. It's not a problem. I was just letting you know.
It's gone now. It's gone now. It's back.
Yeah.
It's
Anyway.
gone. It's back. It's gone.
Okay, now too near and far.
Are you driving?
You have to stop driving.
You have to stop driving. Yes.
Well, the local station wants to insert an ad break now.
Oh my God,
So-
that would be so funny.
We need to
if
send
had
it out
that
to our individual places on the Love
for
Network.
mediation.
hour 24.
And now a word from our sponsor, Florida.gov.
Bye. I am not doing a podcast sponsored by Florida.gov. No offense.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
It's
We're
Florida with
talking
2
about
R's.
mediation. It's like it's the only way to pay for Zoom.
Lord.
Either that or medication ads or something.
Yeah, medication. Big
Yeah.
fan.
Side effects of Florida.gov are listed here.
Right.
They include suicidal thoughts.
Ask your
So
doctor if Florida is right for you.
I need to go
No.
because I have to get up early. I have to
Lord.
now. I am now a civil servant.
Wait,
No,
so
wow.
you two have to go to a place and do a thing for 8 hours and then you get to come home?
I
Oh my
do.
God.
I know it's crazy.
Wait, you actually
I
have
know.
to go
Rare,
someplace now?
rare,
I
rare.
do.
Wow.
John, I now work for the 4th Judicial Circuit. So in May, my full title comes into being. So
The right
Which is-
honorable, what is it?
Roxas of Smash
I
Brothers?
asked for omnipotence, and
Countess.
the
What?
head of security went, "We don't have that title.
You get a
No one has
nameplate.
that title." I'm like, "Oh, come on." So anyway,
Duchess. What?
it's really weird that the people that have been part of the mediation unit have been there since at least 2012, and they're calling me boss. It's just like, "Hey, boss, here's the thing. No one wanted the job, and they're like, we run things. We just need a figurehead. We want you to be it."
And Rox goes, just 1 second. It's the thing I do best.
It's the thing I do the best.
How much would you like to pay me to be your figure?
Yeah, it was so funny. Like today, I was having to do some stuff, and my assistant, she's like, "Yeah, you could have radio on or something." She goes, "I have movies on." She goes, "As long as the work's done." I'm like, "Okay." So I tell this to my boyfriend. He's like, "Are you going to let that go?" I'm like, "Yeah, this is why they pay. This is why I'm there. They want things to run." So there was like this cabal between two of them. They're like, because they didn't want an outsider to come in and mess things up. And they're like, "Roxanne's been doing this for a long time. She's got this even keel that she'll be fine and we'll be fine." So it's very like catch-22 in a way.
Oh, that's okay. This is F1. This is exactly all of the relationship circles.
This
In F1.
right now.
Use that help key.
You just described the stewards.
Yes.
Yeah.
The stewards room at any F1 race. Do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Make the rules up as you go along.
Yep.
F1,
Or
Control
restart.
Z. It's all the same.
Exactly.
Let's try with four red flags. the next time.
F0. F0.
Oh,
There you
yeah.
go.
So speaking of it, I missed that F1. So my brother-in-law works for ADM, who is the partners for Mercedes-Benz.
Yep.
You mean AMG?
No, AMD. No. AMD makes, so they make hardware. So my brother-in-law was.
Okay.
Yeah, they make.
They're
They make. Yeah. Okay. No, they're not a. They're partners. They're not a sponsor. AMD makes the stuff for Mercedes-Benz for that.
And that's 2 sets of ears.
2 sets. Yeah. Yeah. My brother-in-law was headhunted from IBM after he retired. And they're like, so Google wanted him,
the most
but they
dangerous
didn't know who
game.
he was. Yeah. And then AMD, it's like, I've never heard. Then it's like, oh, Radeon and stuff like that. All of a sudden, like, people will notice.
They don't want you to really talk about Radeon anymore.
Jackets and stuff, and they're like, it's almost like the body snatchers. Some people know the hardware that AMD makes, which they make the logic boards, processors. Yeah.
Processors.
Okay, so we are talking about AMD, the processor company.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
I was not following along. So okay,
that's okay.
But they also make hardware.
My edible could be kicking
for stuff too. So they apparently that whole console in the Mercedes
dash console is AMD powered.
Yep. So that's now the big thing in the Henkel household type of a thing. It's like, okay, where are they now? Eric, get me one of those chairs. The AMD chair. So I can send it to the courthouse and have the special chair.
Just get me the cool gaming chair.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. The one that has the buttons on the armrests, like you were a Bond villain.
Oh, what you want is the one with like the magnetic pillows, so you don't even have to have the strap on the back of it. It just sticks to the back.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so brilliant.
Yeah, and then if you have a thumb drive that you need to erase because the feds are coming, you just hold it up to the pillow and it totally erases it. So I've heard.
So yeah, I now for the
it fights migraines.
So I go down to the courthouse. I have a special key pass to go through.
And what is your key? What is your password?
Can't tell you. It has to change every 90 days.
Can you just show me a picture of your ID real quick? I just need
her voice is her passport.
So that means that both you and I have probably had to go through like federal screening to have your jobs. Yeah.
And the thing is here's the thing. I didn't apply for it.
They really didn't talk to Brian Setzer, did they?
Because I've been mediating. I've been mediating as a contractor for like a year and a half.
Yeah.
And the woman who's
you and Greg Davies,
she's like, I want you to have my job. And I'm like, yeah, okay.
So that now I'm understanding that the Florida government operates much in the way the Green Lantern Corps does.
Yes, it does.
If you find the ring,
give
and you can say the line, you've got the job.
Yep. My interview wasn't an interview. It was a meet and greet with the executive director of the entire system of 3 counties. And
she is the Roxanne of Sector 2814.
And it's just like, have you ever done family? I'm like, well, no, but people use small claims as family mediation. They're like, oh, what? And then they asked the woman who's retiring. She goes, that's correct. Like, so it's
she is correct.
Yeah, it's really. So I go and get my badge, and
you had an easier audition than Eurovision. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So my assistant's like, yeah, she's going to be our boss. It's just like, hey. Yeah, I'm that person. I'll walk around with a coffee cup. How's it going? Where are you going? Yeah, okay.
Do you need somebody to work on the weekend?
No, it's civil servant stuff. Hey, I already have a short week because of
Good Friday.
No, Good Friday, yeah. all the.
I mean, well, it's better than the
holidays.
average Friday, I guess.
Well,
is really what it is.
the pay is crap, but the
Decent
benefits
Thursday.
for Florida are really good.
Well, but the problem is it's still Florida, so
It is.
True. Well, you know, it's a wild, wonderful, wacky world of Florida. And as a civil servant, I'm not going to say anything about it.
I mean, I to be fair,
I can no longer have opinions.
when I was a kid, I lived in Florida for a while, so I have lived there.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I didn't live in the part of Florida that people think of as Florida. I lived up at the top of the Panhandle where the mountains, which I can't think of which right now.
Oh, yeah, heading towards like where Marion is.
Fuck if I know. I don't remember. I was a kid. I just know that we lived at the tail end of the mountain range on top of the mountain in a red, white, and blue school bus that 4 people lived in, and we had no running water and no electricity.
Yeah.
He never met Marion.
No. Okay.
I was a kid, so for me, it was just.
And you know what? JJ,
cool. It was like
lived.
second grade.
Florida let you live.
Yeah.
Because Florida.
Because it wasn't the Florida that is now. Florida now would not let me live as a kid.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
At that time, I had platinum blonde hair.
Escape from Witch Mountain was a documentary once.
Wow.
When I was a kid, I used to get a haircut once a year, and I would just let my hair grow the rest of the year. And I had platinum blonde hair and was already into theater and stuff. So yeah, no, Florida the modern day Florida would target me as a straight cis dude, would probably still target me hard with the don't say gay bill, and it'd be hell.
Yeah, but it's still a state that will kill you.
What the hell is going?
It's a murder state.
It's a slideshow. It's
yeah, it is.
It's
Oh.
the slideshow of horrible things that have happened in Florida.
Yeah.
It was.
Oh my gosh.
Wikipedia never fails to deliver.
I'm
trying to figure out where JJ lived.
Wherever the fucking
Up.
What?
So,
don't we live in the world with the Mission Impossible maps? Can we just not pull those up?
What is it? The Appalachians that go down the east side? My brain is just mush at the moment.
All right, where Georgia is, that little weird corner. There's a lot of mountains in through there, too, and there's caves too.
I don't think of Florida having any mountains, to be honest with you.
They have caves. Florida's got
mountains and caves.
We went.
This show goes a lot of places, and most of them are in Florida, apparently.
Yes. Yeah. So here's the. I'm going to leave on this note. We went to an archaeological, discussion. There's a local archaeology group. And they had a forensic archaeologist who taught out of UF, which is in Gainesville. And Gainesville's apparently like a big, environmental science, animal husbandry. Anyway, this guy is an he's an archaeologist, but forensic. Now, he did a study that in really, how you always, in shows, you need to like bury the body and stuff. If you're going to dispose of a body, you bury it. In shows.
Well, in your television shows, in your
movies,
in your Barnaby Joneses,
in your home movies. Oh wait, I mean movies.
Your Quincy MDs.
I air quoted the wrong thing.
So he did a study where he wound up getting federal money and stuff to study what happens if you just leave bodies in Florida exposed. In Florida,
his own personal body farm.
No. So what he did was he was able to get pig carcasses, like fresh ones. And they set up cameras and they just left them. And they showed step by step how the wildlife would just
the decomposing.
Decomposing. The animals would feed on it. The amount of types of animals that would feed on it.
The neighbors weren't advised about it, and they freaked out.
Well, no. So I think it was done on. I forgot. So UF has a lot of land, so they were able to do it in an area. So like you have your turkey vultures, you have your four-legged predators. There was a scene. This was the crazy part. Well, one of the crazy parts of it is the amount of animals that would
get
feed
to the crazy part now.
On, when you just dump a body. Was there's all these turkey vultures and they're feeding, and then all of a sudden a bald eagle just, I swear to God, it like waltzed in. Its nose was like in profile, and they all moved away slowly. It's like, he's here to feed. And he did. And he came in and just picked off a couple pieces and then left. So basically what happens is the forest really takes, takes from when you dump a body. So in Florida, you really do not have to dig a shallow grave.
All that was back to,
and that's the rest of the story.
And this is the Florida episode of Weekend Justice, apparently.
Florida,
the place where you can dump a body and the state will take care of it.
That's right.
And Space Mountain can be in your gated community.
And remember, always go to your local council meetings.
They've precluded the state of Florida from using their they've Will Smith state of Florida. They're keeping Disney out of their mouth right now.
All right, kids, I'm gonna go.
All right. Good night, Rox.
Good night.
Bye.
And I'm looking at a topographical map of Florida and wondering if my parents fucking lied to me when I was a kid. We lived in the woods. I know that, but now I'm like,
I thought you were about to say, where the fuck did they hide the bodies?
Yeah. We were really in Utah.
I mean, maybe that's why we were living in a bus. I have no fucking clue, but I do not see where the hell my parents said we lived. So
that's why I was questioning, like, what are the mountains?
I don't know.
Mountains in Florida.
I got to add this to the show notes. JJ's shocking childhood revelation.
So just so we're all on the same page, Florida is not like the landscape in Fortnite, right? It doesn't change every 3 months.
Yeah. Well,
when I lived in Florida, it was season 2.
Well,
but it does, but not.
Do portals come out of the ground? Do we know that for sure?
Do 12-year-olds mow you down within about 60 seconds?
It is sort of like Fortnite in that every time it seems to be the shrinking.
It does.
See, okay, then that you may not be wrong, JJ. There might have been mountains at one point.
I'm actually a little. I mean, I never bothered to look it up because, I mean, seriously, this would have been. It would have been. So we were living in Washington State when I was in kindergarten. I don't remember first and second grade. By third grade, we were living back in California. So it's somewhere in that area. And I know we lived in Florida for a year.
Somewhere between Florida and California. It's somewhere.
Do you remember having a lot of?
Telling me?
Do you remember having a lot of nosebleeds and being made to chew gum to get the popping out of your ears?
What I remember mainly is living in the woods and getting you'd go through the woods and you'd get a lot of ticks and chiggers.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. JJ was basically living the real life story of Running on Empty. The movie, not the song.
Okay.
Not the off Broadway play.
I never saw the off-Broadway play, but I'm sure it was
I
amazing.
don't know. There probably is one. I don't know.
I'm sure there is.
I've never seen the movie, so I can't comment on that.
I thought it was.
I
I
love
thought
that
it
we
was
just
Florida.
discovered that-
Turns out it was Colorado.
Actually, he was
My
living
parents
at
lied.
Disney in Fort Wilderness,
Yeah.
and the mountain was Space Mountain.
It's funny because I don't remember.
No,
I mean, obviously,
what was the name of that animal park that they enclosed on the island and then they closed it? Not
Not in,
shit.
not
Hang on.
Animal Kingdom, but it was right next. It was right next to that. It was right next to Fort Wilderness,
yeah, I know.
which also has parts of it. River Country.
Yeah. Well, that was a water park, wasn't it? Because there was a water park.
Discovery Island.
Yeah.
Discovery Island. That's where JJ was living.
yeah, I remember the thing that because I was very young at the time, so I don't remember a lot of it, but I do remember that we got bused to school, and it was about an hour and 20-minute ride because we lived out in the middle of nowhere. And and everyone in school was amazed at the fact that when I would get on the bus, I would pass out. So I would sleep like all the way to school and all the way back.
So he could never find his way home or to school again.
Apparently so. Now I'm like, shit, did they fucking trank me?
They drove in circles for an hour and then let him out.
And the statute of limitations on this is out because my parents are dead, so I'll never find out.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
This is how most Vice documentaries start.
Does this shipwreck look familiar to you at all?
Is it red, white, and blue? Maybe that's what we lived in. But
pan just to the right, and there's a bus that's in red, white, and blue.
And I know the bus moved because we moved from
Sure
we
it did.
from
Because
Florida
the wheels, they go round and round.
because we lived to but I lived in because then we moved from there to Little Rock, Arkansas, because that's where I started auditioning for TV shows. That I remember as well. My childhood. It really
so
is.
back up one second, real
you
quick.
drove there in the red, white, and blue bus.
Yes, my father drove us because that's when my father. Again, weird little things I remember. My dad swore he could parallel park anything, so he wanted to parallel park a bus. So he did.
So he did. He managed it.
Yes. My dad swore.
Well, I mean, top marks for that. I mean,
he swore he had a technique that could allow you to parallel park any vehicle, and he taught me how to do it, and it doesn't fucking work.
yeah.
He was a parallel parking savant and wasn't aware that he could not pass on the knowledge.
Yeah, I can parallel park my Kia, but that's because Kia has no ass. It's just flat in the back, and so you can just doof and get right in there.
Got so now I got a red, white, and blue school bus, Little Rock.
Okay, stop talking about my childhood, and we'll move on to something
Stop trying to unravel the mystery.
Yeah, that's
So honestly,
like.
So honestly, when you watch The Partridge Family, does that give you stress-induced nightmares?
We used to joke about that quite a bit. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The bus that we had would be closest to not that one. It was the third image that you had.
This
So the
one
one,
right
here? Oh, okay.
yeah, that would be the closest.
The paint job was better on the other ones. That's why it's not. Yeah.
I can't tell what that says, but
it doesn't say much of anything because it's AI generated.
oh, okay. No, when I was the reason I remember we went to Little Rock is because the first headshots I ever took in my acting career were leaning on the front of that red, white, blue school bus, wearing a Florida Gators shirt.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep. And I didn't give a shit about sports then either, but I was a young boy, and so people gave you sports shirts.
Well, I mean, if you're in the state and they give you a university shirt, unless you state a preference, they will think you like that team anyway.
Yeah. Well, and even as a young child, I was always like a foot taller than the other kids, so they were like, "Oh yeah, that boy's gonna be a football player." Like, no, sorry.
They looked at me going, "Honey, do you need your Atari? Don't go outside. Just here. Here's the joystick. Just
now
You'll need your inhaler."
And here I am decades later.
No, I need the inhaler now.
And I still don't understand the rules to football.
I do, but I can't tell you why. I don't know. Like, well, I would much rather have retained my understanding of how cricket works. But because that would help me with some Indian films. But football, I don't know why.
I learned that live on a podcast once. Somebody asked us about cricket, and we literally went through. Me and my co-host went through and read the Wikipedia entry on cricket.
Now, there was a series that actually followed Indian cricket team through 1 year. I think it was on. I want to say it was on Prime. I watched it though, and I picked up a lot about cricket through that because they sort of explained the rules as they went along. But
I had someone briefly attempt to explain cricket to me because I asked a question because it was in Doctor Who. That's.
In fairness, though, I did watch the whole thing, and I do remember very little about it, except there's a lot of running back and forth.
I know because I've been watching a lot of Taskmaster lately that Russell Howard can knock over a wicket in one throw.
A wicket, that's another thing. Oh, yes, I saw that episode. Well, I've probably seen that episode several times.
Yeah, the new series just started.
I am right now in the middle of 14.
Run to YouTube to find it.
Yeah. I'm glad it's
funny. Yeah, like all their old seasons are on their official YouTube channel. They seem to be, at least. And their new season, you can find it by things that say they're named. They're official.
Yeah, the channel I noticed was, we won't get them in trouble, but it sounded official with the word UK at the end. Yeah, I noticed that earlier today. Because the thing is, I had already watched a chunk of Taskmaster, but then earlier this winter, our pet died, and my friend was very, very, very upset, and we couldn't focus on anything. She just was really not having a good time of anything. So I was like, have you ever thought about watching Taskmaster? And now we are in the 14th season.
It's very therapeutic.
It is when you can't focus on anything else. I mean, because we have taken breaks and watched, other things. Strangely enough, like last week, we shotgunned The Last of Us. Like, watched it in like 2 days. What?
I still need to see it. I haven't watched it yet.
I mean, obviously, I shotgunned it. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
How'd you get through that in 2 days? Because we always need time to digest it.
Well, that's the thing, is I expected that. I usually can't handle dramas like big time like that, but there was something about The Last of Us that we were just like, I mean, I don't know. Again, I was angry at the world and avoiding going outside. That was part of it.
And
just was
then it sounds like it's perfect for me to watch.
Yeah. And it doesn't have the relentlessness. Boy, my mouth didn't want to work there as much as, like, say, a Walking Dead that just was like, yeah, we get it. The people are the bad guys. We get it.
So
we get it. There's no good person.
Have you played either one of the games?
I have played. I played a chunk of Last of Us, but let's just say that Pedro Pascal is a much better shot than my Joel.
Yeah.
And so
Pedro Pascal is a better shot than most people's Joels.
Yeah, I mean, I was describing it earlier.
Although, to be fair, he does way less crouching, so that probably helps.
Yeah. And at no point did he not throw a bottle at anybody, which I managed to do all the time. Yeah. But yeah, it'd be like, I'd be like, stop, get away from her. I love the
game.
I just assumed because the guy behind Chernobyl was behind it that I would probably need to like space it out for weeks at a time, because I watched the first episode of Chernobyl and I was like, I'll probably be ready for episode 2 in a couple of years, because that's bleak as hell. So, but it sounds like it's easier to digest.
Well, and also,
I will say, if you're following the show, don't play Last of Us Part 2.
I wasn't planning on it. I probably
people listening to this later will all nod and go, "Yes, you are correct. Do not play Last of Us Part 2 yet."
Yeah.
If you want to stay on show pace, do not play Last of Us Part 2.
Or know what happens in the game. Nod.
Yes. People at home are going, yes, he is right.
But which part shouldn't I play though?
Well, there's many of them because of remasters. Maybe you should play it on PC. Apparently the PC one is buggy and having, the people having second skin sort of thing. So you won't know the difference between the people infected and the people you're actually playing.
If we promise to give Call of Duty to PlayStation, can Xbox have Last of Us?
I mean, I'm surprised you don't yet. You should.
We don't. Still PlayStation exclusive.
No, but you can play it on PC. I mean,
yeah, but why?
Also, just my
PC isn't anywhere near my recliner.
You can always buy a Steam Deck.
I will say, as far as Last of Us,
I could be one of the 3 people that did that.
Being destroying. Are you familiar with the game at all?
I'm sorry.
WEJ. Are you familiar with the game at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so have you per se played the first half hour?
No, I've not played it, but I'm aware of it.
Okay, because I mean, granted, the show doesn't knock the wool out of under your feet. That's a phrase, sure. It doesn't. The floor doesn't drop out.
Standing on a sheep.
Yeah, it just pulls that sheep right up.
Like the first hour, depending on how quickly you play, the first hour is like basically stealth, but you don't even encounter like enemies for quite a while.
But then the big twist happens at the beginning of the game. And when I will say, when you were playing it, just the nature of playing a video game versus watching something, it hit me harder when I was playing it than when I watched it, but I also knew it was coming when I watched it.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know that particular twist is coming, and I'm trying to be, for people maybe who haven't seen it, maybe it would hit them harder, but I still don't think it's going to hit as hard as when you play the game, because
there was a conversation about, and we can't go too far into that, but there was a conversation about the end game and particular decisions at the end.
Right.
That things you could do in the game that didn't necessarily translate to things that happened in the TV show, even though it goes and kind of canonically it goes in the same direction, but there's a nuance that people were kind of discussing about the decision at the end versus how it plays out on TV that makes it that some people liked or didn't like about it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
So basically, in order to make everybody happy, you'd have to do an ending setup like the movie Clue.
Well, no, okay. So there is a decision you can make in the game that basically ends the game. You don't get to play the end game.
Right.
Basically, if you go along with a certain thing that is happening, you can decide not to do that. You can.
And the TV show, they had a dragon flying, which was really weird.
You can also, there are several other things you can do within the end game that add to the weight of the decisions you're making that don't necessarily get represented in the television show.
Right.
I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife.
Yes. You cannot go home and sleep with your wife. But there's
But they also did a thing. My counter argument to that is, because I've played a little bit of part 2, that they do kind of set up, and they did purposely go through at least in season 1, knowing that they were going to get to stuff in part 2, that they consciously did set up things that we didn't find out until part 2 in the game that work a lot better narrative wise.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. And also there, when you're talking about making decisions and stuff, when you are playing a video game, you do kind of have a bit of choose your own adventure. I mean, there's like one Far Cry game that if you make a decision at the beginning, it ends the game right there. I don't remember which Far Cry it is, but you can make a choice like pretty much like at the
I think it's Far Cry 3 where you're having the dinner with the guy, and then you can just decide to join his team, and that's the end of the game.
Yeah.
Or there's a couple of ways. There's actually a couple of different ways in that one dinner scene where you can actually end the game.
Yeah.
Because apparently there is a way where you can take the guy out there.
Yeah.
I have not figured out how to do it. I've seen people do it. I've seen videos of it being done. But apparently there is a way to end the game in either a negative or positive way in that first thing where you're having dinner with the guy who's taking over the small country.
Yeah.
So,
and isn't it? I think there was something where somebody published a mod for Fallout that made it more realistic in that you don't survive the opening. you and everyone that you care about is wiped out in the opening.
But Harrison Ford is alive in a refrigerator, so
yes.
And then the adamantium fridge.
Yeah, it was an old-fashioned fridge.
There is a joke in Fallout 4 about a kid being stuck in a refrigerator that got stuck in the refrigerator during the blast. There is that is actually a joke plot line in Fallout 4. So
unfortunately, no one let him out, so he suffocated in there, and Fallout 4 didn't last very long. That was the way that you could end the game right there as well.
Yes.
Let me out! And nothing happens.
Yeah, the mysterious thing that unlocks your cryogenic chamber just never activates.
Well, I mean, 3 is
there's a 1 in 100 chance it happens, and then it burns the disc. You can't ever use it again. Play the game ever
once
again.
Your dad's been Liam Neeson in the previous game, it kind of all goes off the rails there anyway.
And to be fair, a lot of games have ways of ending it right at the beginning. I mean, if you've ever been high playing Super Mario Brothers, you know that sometimes you just can't get past the first fucking Koopa.
I mean, I've figured out how to do a positive ending for Tetris right away.
Don't start.
I don't know. I was just making it up.
I was gonna say, you have not played Tetris Effect. I know better.
Has anybody watched the movie?
Has it come out yet?
Tetris?
I think it's out.
It's on Apple TV.
Yeah. Oh, well then no.
The trailer looked really good, actually.
Yeah,
it did. No, I will not be getting Apple TV again until we're closer to the end of the season of Ted Lasso, and then I'll get it for a month and shotgun my
now. Well, you have it. Have you watched Shrinking?
I've heard it's quite good.
So take time to also watch Shrinking while you're there.
Yeah.
On your 1 week or whatever free trial.
We had some friends over, and they were telling us to, under no circumstances should we miss Shrinking.
Yes, it's absolutely fantastic. And by the same people that do Ted Lasso. It has a lot of Ted Lasso energy. Just more focus. I mean, literally focused on mental health, and which is sort of where Ted Lasso is too. So
yeah.
Yes, Ted Lasso. Awesome.
Ted Lasso. A show that I really, when everybody was like, "Oh, this show's great. You should watch it. You should watch it." I was like, "No." And then I had that period of time where I was sore and couldn't get out of bed, and I bought a new computer during the pandemic. So they're like, "You have Apple TV for free," and I was like, "Fine, I'll watch the stupid fucking show." Oh my god, it's the best thing I've ever watched. Mm-hmm. God damn it! I hate it when everybody's right.
Especially in that sort of situation. It is a it came out during the pandemic, which was, it's cathartic. It's, more of a happy show, obviously. But has some dark sides to it. But when you're like laid up in bed and sick or whatever, it's just a joy to watch. It's just happiness on screen.
And then I was lucky enough that I finished the first season, and the next season came out like the next month. So I didn't have the long wait between season 1 and season 2.
And I am happy they're only doing 3 seasons, because at some point that would start to become ridiculous. In fact, one of the things in season 3 that they ask is like, we're still here? That kind of thing. It's like, it doesn't make any sense. What the premise that we sort of ignore when we get to season 2 is that he's not a soccer coach. No,
but he becomes a good coach of people, and so
right.
It makes sense for the sticker. Yeah, but it does. Yeah, it is a it is something that does feel like it should be limited.
Yeah. And it's only so many times you can go up and down in the leagues and still have a interesting story and have it be believable. So
yeah.
Anyway, that's been soccer talk. So we've done F1. We've done
F1.
Some.
We talked about football, or at least the fact that I don't understand it.
Football, cricket.
Yep.
Lots of
sports.
Football.
We've had a personal discovery.
Yeah. Actually, we had a personal discovery that there needs to be a personal discovery is I think what we had a personal discovery of.
I'll never know. It's just I can't ask anybody. They're all gone.
I feel your pain.
I do have like a half sister, but she's not exactly known for her ability to tell the truth. So
not even the whole
again.
Truth?
I feel your pain.
Hey, the whole mountains in Florida thing. Who knew?
Yeah,
I was told.
At the molehills of madness.
Yeah.
Why is there darkness?
Because it's my old friend.
Oh.
He's here.
Well
that's
done.
good. That's really good. That's really good.
Interestingly, that darkness is Rob.
It's Rob, and it's a very loud Rob.
Sorry, I'm multitasking.
See, we were fooled until the noise started. It's like, oh, that's Rob.
I know. So yeah, somehow when the crashing started, I went, oh, it's Rob.
Well, it's
He's coming in hot.
No, with the storms, the reception for the Wi-Fi is better here than on the laptop. So I had to sort of replan.
You ever notice how Rob and Rox are never in the room at the same time?
That is for strategic persons. There is also, like, when Congress has the State of the Union, there's one designated person to stay behind to make sure
we have a designated curmudgeon.
Yes,
we have a designated curmudgeon on this podcast.
Yes.
Designated curmudgeon.
Yes,
then occasionally Doc has to fill in when neither Rob or or Ross are available.
Those are the Weekend Justice Miss America runner-up rules. That's what that is. I'm sure Doc is thrilled when he hears this.
He wrote it.
That's true.
We're doing all sorts of old callbacks now.
I've invited Brendan Gleeson to be the resident curmudgeon, but I haven't heard back from him yet.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
Next thing we're gonna what is it? Drunk dial serve? Is it? That's before my time, but I remember listening to it.
Did I miss Rox again?
Yeah, she was here for a bit.
What
a convenient way to try and cover up there, Rob.
Did I miss Superman? I had no idea. I'm just Clark Kent.
Oh, my glasses, where'd they go?
Well, there's only one of us allowed in one point in space and time with the rest of you at the same time, so there's plausible deniability. Yeah.
Speaking of which,
they're each other's alibis, is what he's saying.
Speaking of which, in a weird way, they just announced that Jinx Monsoon is going to be on Doctor Who.
Yeah,
I might be the only person here that's super excited about that, but I am super excited about that.
Yeah, I am super excited about watching people freak the fuck out about it on the internet and just laughing at them for being stupid.
I think it's incredibly funny that once Chibnall and Jody left, they were all like, "Well, it's just going to go back to normal now. It's going to be great."
Hey, Doctor Who has always had a gay subtext on it.
Oh yeah. That's why I just think it's funny. All of the things that you used to catch,
I know,
are always part of the show that people just glossed over.
Reagan
And
wore
Quentin Tarantino could be in a movie talking about the subtext in Doctor Who.
Exactly.
yeah, Reagan wore drag, so I'm sure that went over well. So,
But to be fair, Reagan was an actor, and I don't know an actor that hasn't been in drag at some point.
yeah,
I've been in drag.
I have.
Granted,
I would say
I was the big bad wolf in Into the Woods, and I was dressed up as the grandmother, but that counts.
Yeah.
I would say that Hugh Beaumont was never in drag.
Have you seen any of his B movies?
No. No.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I did it.
I like stupid shit, but I can't. That's way out there.
He's got a long career of B movies, man.
I'm sure
around
Hugh
like,
Beaumont was hanging out.
Actually, his film noir stuff is pretty great.
yeah.
Hugh Beaumont's probably out there with Fred McMurray, just hanging out in nice casual dresses.
If you take a stroll through MST, Hugh Beaumont has been, I think, in 2 or 3 MSTs.
Did I ever tell you
films?
Did I ever tell you my Fred McMurray story?
No.
So Fred McMurray's daughter owns a winery in California. And I was very young, and we were
that wasn't all the story.
And we were out there. I was young. No, I was maybe like 9, and we were out there. I was out there with my parents, and they noticed there's a winery go and stuff. And my dad's like, "Oh, that's the winery that the guy from My Three Sons owns." And yeah, and so we're in the gift shop, and we're getting some stuff, and this guy comes up to my dad and says, "Oh, you found a bottle of wine you like?" And he looks at him and he goes, "Yes, Mr. Douglas, I did." And boy, did he look fucking pissed. So anyway, that's the Fred McMurray story.
And you're sure that your parents didn't lie to you about where you were?
My
you weren't here for that. You weren't here for that.
Rob, do you remember a bus when you were young?
They drove up to the winery in a red, white, and blue painted bus.
Poor Rob missed all of that backstory. I'm sorry.
I remember the time they left me in a bus or at a gas station in Logan, Utah when I was 3, but I remember that by accident.
When I was a kid,
usually anything that involves my dad and booze, I remember because you have to pass these things on to your children.
Rob, important question: were there mountains involved
in Logan, Utah?
Bush Mountains. That's where the refreshment is.
When I was a kid, Rob, I got left. I got left behind. Excuse me, at a Tanya Tucker concert.
Really? Well, that wouldn't necessarily be bad. It's better than left.
I got left behind with Kirk Cameron.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Wow.
Do you have a threesome?
Yeah, Rob. Just to catch you up real quick, JJ figured out that he doesn't know where he lived when he thought he lived in Florida.
I know it was Florida.
He lived in the mountains of Florida.
To be
He
fair,
lived in the mountains of Florida.
To be fair, he was probably traumatized by not being labeled as an adult as Florida man. And also, it's Florida. It's God's waiting room. So,
Well, I mean, it also could be that, weird shit was happening, so he just assumed he must be in Florida.
All he knew is that he needed to get away and go and get out.
I have
rabbits in it.
I basically I told a story of where I lived as a kid, and turns out that I think my parents were incorrect in telling me, and I have no way of finding out now. So
see, I thought you were raised by nuns in Austria, but that's just me.
Sure, that works. Just too bad I can't speak German.
That allegedly.
No, he really can't speak German.
Don't be surprised. There are several hundred people at Dragon Con that still think Tuffley and I are brothers. So, I mean, don't be surprised by this.
Well, wait. What? Wait. I'm sorry. Again, that edible could be kicking in. You're not brothers?
No, we're not.
We were going to let that keep running, actually.
Yeah.
Done now. That's the bet.
Is there a third Summers brother?
No.
Oh, there always is. Like,
No.
Which timeline
Eddie
you
Murphy.
got? Which timeline you got? We'll see.
Just don't let it be Vulcan. Just don't be Vulcan.
Yeah, JJ. I mean, I feel you. I mean, I avoid Florida at all costs, and also Arizona. It's in the manual. So.
Jesus! Don't go to Arizona.
Yeah.
These are life advice.
Only lizard people
I
live
have
there.
relatives in both places, so I try
Don't
to
go
avoid
there.
both as much as I can.
I went to Arizona once. I almost died. Don't go there.
When I went to my first niece's wedding, the hotel we stayed at, like everybody in the hotel, like the concierge, they all had guns. It was like fucking Tombstone. It was weird. The second time I was used to it, but yeah.
I've been okay when I've been through Arizona. I always have bad luck in Las Cruces. Well, basically Las Cruces, New Mexico, but New Mexico's bad for me, and Las Cruces is real bad. Every time I pass through Las Cruces, something horrible happens.
How is Texas for you?
I drive as quickly as possible.
Yes,
I would too. All my exes are there.
But
really?
That's why you hang your hat in Tallahassee.
Oh, yes, it is exactly it. Back to Florida, folks.
John, the only thing that matters is where you are now.
So for those
which is Florida, which is what's
and where the edible says you are.
George Strait. There you go.
Trifecta.
There you go.
He does kind of look like George Strait.
Welcome.
They're both white
and
they wear glasses.
Chat GPT. We're both white and wear glasses. Oh, so we all look the same to you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You're from Florida.
Imagine basic white guy, and you've got me.
I also am white and wear glasses.
Yeah, but you give off cool easier than he does.
I am truly an alabaster American. So.
Yeah, we saw The Sting the other night in the theater, and they get to the point.
Yeah, damn you.
Where they start naming off the nicknames for people, and I was starting like, I should start calling WEJ the Big Alabama. But
good
Lord,
Lord,
there's the part where they talk about how all the con men are coming in from different cities. There's Suitcase Murphy, and then there's the Big Alabama. Yeah, I'm like, I wonder who I know in Alabama that we could call. But never mind. I gave that idea up very quickly. I was encouraged to not do that. Oh, he's gone.
And with that, WEJ leaves.
Oh, sorry.
WEJ, you've upset the force.
I'm sorry. I'll leave. Hey, I'm the Stuart Sutcliffe here. I can get out.
Well, but then Rox will be back, and she already said goodbye.
That's true.
Well, that's her.
Yeah, so you can't leave. Sorry, you gotta stay here.
I do have a video game to install, so that's going to take like 16, 17 hours.
What do you got? What do you got?
I got 2 radio shows to do, so I feel you. I'll trade you.
Yeah, how many radio shows have you got? Your third one yet?
No, I have to sort out one. I have to sort out the Japanese, and 2, someone is telling me.
Wait, all the Japanese, like the denizens of the entire country?
No, I'd have to figure out how to do the translations and things for the talking part. But I also have been told by someone.
It's the show he's doing with Hideo Kojima. That's what he's doing.
I wish it was the one I was doing with Kurosawa, but oh well. But no, I've been
Mifune, the musical show.
I would I would do a fucking radio show with Mifune any day of them.
It's the first song you play is Iran.
I'd be like, Mr. Mifune, have you met WEJ? He has your hair.
That's actually a compliment. I'll take it.
Yes. Well, no, that's one of the first. I did a panel, and the very first Neat Coffee panel I was on a panel with WEJ, and I got introduced to like, shit, he's got Mifune hair. And then the particular director of the trek says, "Who's that?" And I said, "Just go sit down."
Don't talk to me if you don't know who Mifune is.
Yeah. I should have worn my Mifune shirt. Anyway, no. But,
and you're wearing an M shirt, right? Did I catch that?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Yeah, because Peter Lorre is fucking great.
I got so lucky that the first time I saw that movie was at a theater here, and it's so good on the it's one of those things. Watching it at home, it is still a good movie, but watching it in the theater where you can't turn away and the uncomfortable stuff is just so much more uncomfortable.
Yeah, I saw it when I lived in New York. I saw it at the Film Forum, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was a matinee, and there were like 3 people there, much like movies are now. So yeah. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'm so happy that here in Portland we do have at least one big old-fashioned movie house left.
Man, my favorite is the Baghdad.
And that's the Baghdad. That's what I'm talking about. And if you go to a movie at the Baghdad at a matinee now, so the thing is they serve food, but in order to get food, you have to be up in the balcony.
Okay.
So if you go to a lunchtime show, everybody's sitting up in the balcony. and I sit kind of close because I am A, nearsighted, and B, I hate having people in my periphery. Yeah. So I tend to sit kind of close to the screen anyway. And so for like John Wick, I was one of maybe 10 people in the downstairs area. And again, it's an old-fashioned, like, giant movie house, so it's really nice.
It's so gorgeous. God.
Yeah. It's the only movie theater I really go to now because I know I will be away from people.
Mm-hmm. And it's gorgeous. So
yeah. And to answer your question earlier, Tuffley, you won't be excited about what I got. I did not get a game. What I got was the new WWE game came out, so I bought the old one.
Oh, okay.
But the reason I wanted it is not even to play the game. It's for nerd mode.
It's for the bugs?
I bought it for no, this one doesn't have the bugs. It's the one before that had all the bugs.
Oh, okay.
No, but this one has a My Manager mode. So you don't have to try to
Okay.
You don't have to try to play, and figure out the fucked up controls they have on all those games. You can just basically, it's almost like playing a board game. You set things up and let the fucking computer do all that stuff. Yeah.
It's like Pro Football Manager.
Exactly. And so I bought it for that. And because the new one's out, it means that I was able to buy it for like $15. So
yeah. Okay.
Nice. Nice. Excellent.
So it's just so I have, and because I'm kind of trying not to, I have a bad habit of buying games that I want to play and then not finishing them. So I spend money on them before, while they're like still new, and then I just don't always finish them.
I've got all the Yakuzas.
Yeah.
And I have played bits of all of them, but I haven't actually finished any of them.
But so I'm right now trying to. So when I imported everything from my PS4 to my PS5, I lost all my saves on Lego Star Wars, which pissed me off.
Yeah.
So I haven't restarted that, but I'm also like halfway through Miles Morales. But when I got it, I got the one that had the Spider-Man remastered, and I never finished Spider-Man. So I'm trying to finish those games before I dive in on some of the other stuff that's coming out.
I don't know. Maybe this will make you feel better, but on Spider-Man, on both of them, both Miles Morales and Spider-Man, I only played enough to unlock the map.
Okay.
I only played enough to unlock the map, so all you can do is swing around the city and take pictures.
Okay.
And maybe occasionally beat people up.
I played a lot of Red Dead Redemption, and I played very little of the story.
Yeah.
I rode all over the place, and I took my horse to the water, and I hunt and trade and all of that. But I don't want to actually go through the game.
Like, yeah, that was that when for the 5 seconds that Red Dead 2 was on Game Pass, I played that long enough to open up the map and ride around, and that was it.
But even that one had too much life simulator stuff. I don't have to remember to take
the first hour of Red Dead 2 is excruciating.
It sounds like
the whole trudging in the snow and like doing the whole survival thing. That was not great. I just wanted to open the map. That they did that knowing that people were only going to play it to open up the map.
Yeah.
They make that first hour horrible.
Don't start a game like it's a Kingdom Hearts game.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, part of the reason I don't finish Yakuza games is because of the cutscenes.
Too long?
Some of them are like between the major story ones between the chapters. I mean, the great thing because there's a sequel series called Judgment, and the great thing about the Judgment games is that they have started, and some of the later Yakuza games now too, you can actually skip the cutscenes. And there was a while in the series where they really, really wanted you to appreciate the cutscenes, and you couldn't skip them, which is annoying as shit. They're really good games, just annoying as shit. But gotcha. And also because the earlier games, only the later games actually have like an English voice track. So you're sitting there for like an hour watching a cutscene that's all in Japanese.
There's no subtitles or anything.
Yeah, well, there are subtitles, but you can turn them on and off. You can toggle them on and off. You can't skip the scene, but you can toggle the subtitles on and off.
At least you know what the hell's being said.
But I am kind of curious though, because they have the Yakuza one that they had in Japan that was the I guess the past one, Ishin, that they've come out with now that I kind of want to play with, but yeah, I probably won't finish that one either, but it seems fun.
You know, I always tell myself
karaoke in feudal Japan seems like such an extra idea. They should just have that.
I try to tell myself that as long as I enjoyed playing it while I was obsessed with it, that's enough.
Yep.
And the thing about Spider-Man games is I won't play for a while, but I love Spider-Man games, so I'll become obsessed for a while and then stop and then become obsessed with a while. You know, Spider-Man is my favorite comic book character, and when they do it right, and I mean, I think I played pretty much every Spider-Man game for a system I owned. Granted, I haven't owned all the systems, but since the 2600 game,
yeah, remember that one.
I even had a back in the day when you would get
I played that as well,
that you could write simple basic games. You know, it would be like, because I had like a Marvel Comics computer game book that you would copy the program into and you would it was like little ASCII figures and stuff. But I played all the Spider-Man ASCII games in that book. And I played the Spider-Man Quest Probe and all of that shit.
Nice.
Da-da-da. So speaking of Miles Morales,
love that trailer.
What?
Love the trailer for the second one.
Love it.
Yeah.
Wow. See, I thought it gave away too much. It basically seemed like it was the entire outline of the film.
Really. Well, because the other thing is, I mean, because if you know the history of the comics, this could go either way anyway. So you don't really know.
Yeah.
No, I mean I don't know, but I'm just saying
it could go it could go one way, reset itself, and go that way again.
Yes. It could blow up the universe, and then it happens again. It just, you know.
I see what you're saying, but I really feel like that the first movie had so much going for it.
Yeah.
That the only thing that I kind of wish they would have played close to their chest, just because they're the little joys that I got, I would have liked it if they didn't show little baby Mayday. But for the most part, the rest was all pretty much, you don't want to say generic necessarily, but it was just like, okay, well, there's a world threatening device and you have to do something about it or not. And so it didn't really feel like it gave a lot away.
The other thing is, as many Marvel trailers as we've talked about distrusting, I don't trust any of them now. So I don't know if it's given up too much or not.
Oh,
I'm just like,
I agree. I think though what concerned me was generally for those that you're talking about where it's like misleading you.
Yeah.
There feels like there's wiggle room in there in which you think, okay, maybe that's it. But this just felt so much like, and maybe they're doing it on purpose, which would be fantastic. But
thought that I had that they were doing that on purpose for people who know what's happening in the comics, for people who are aware of the comics, because that's a swerve they've done already, and they did it in the first film too.
Yeah.
So. They did that exact trick in the first film, so I don't see why they wouldn't do it in the trailer for the second one. So,
what was the swerve for the first film? Because I'm not familiar with what happens in the comics, so I may not have caught it, honestly. And silence.
Well, I was trying to figure out exactly how much to give away.
What, of the comics or because I've seen the first movie.
Yeah.
And that's what, like how many years ago? It's spoilers for Spider-Verse. Anyway, the first one.
It's just basically, Miles kind of has Clark Kent disease in the fact that no matter how many times you bring back his dad, he's just not going to stick around.
Yes.
Okay.
Because every time they bring back Jonathan Kent, he has a heart attack and dies within a couple of issues. And they have changed Miles Morales' universe a few times. And every time they change it, he loses his dad again.
Well, he loses his dad, and sometimes he loses his mom.
Yeah.
Well, once.
And sometimes they hate.
Yeah.
Yeah, like back in Ultimate Comics, they knew that he was Spider-Man and shunned him for it. And then everybody hated that. So when they brought them back, they made them supportive.
Yes.
But it's just, so the thing is, so when you find out that that his dad might die again, yeah, if you read the comics, you're like, meh, okay. It sucks for you, but you know, Uncle Ben's got to go sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that wasn't even the part that the whole choose who you're going to save thing. It was the part in the trailer where he goes, "Oh, I'm just going to do I'm going to do my own thing," and I was just like,
that was the path that he went through in the entire first film, you know, with the that's what his uncle was training him to do. So again, it just feels like character beats.
Yeah. Well, I hope there's more to it. It's just, I think it felt like it was hitting the points that most trailers that give away too much of the film do. And I could be reading way too much into it because because I loved the first film so fucking much. I'm just like paranoid about, you know, the second film, I guess. Because second films are hard, is what we've seen.
Second albums are hard.
Marvel second films especially.
Yes.
They can suck.
Or third films.
Yeah, this is true. But
or sometimes people will say the second and third films really suck, and you were like, I thought they were okay.
So
somebody liked Breaking 2. Okay, that's, you know.
Listen, somebody always likes everything.
Well, is it Mark Grunwald that said every comic you hate is somebody else's favorite comic?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And probably their first comic.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, Ice-T was in Breaking 2, so that was the one he was in. So.
Oh. I don't remember. It's been a long time.
I don't suggest really that you watch Breaking 2 to get that, but
so Toughly,
he likes to mention that.
Breaking 2 or Crush Groove 2?
So what?
Which was better, Breaking 2 or Crush Groove 2?
They're all the same film.
No.
Breaking's right. New Edition was in Crush Groove. Sorry.
Ooh. Which therefore makes Breaking 2 better.
So then you're not a fan of Karate Kid 2 then, which also had New Edition.
I forgot that. Thank you for fucking ruining that.
Wow.
Oh God! And they did the horrible covers album right after that when it came out.
Yes, they did. Thank you for bringing that up again.
We did it, Internet.
I mean, I knew when they did Mr. Telephone Man that the world was over, but yeah.
But it just kept on going. So we should probably move towards recommendations because I think it's getting to be that time.
Oh, hey! Before we do recommendations,
yeah.
WEJ, can you talk about your radio show?
Oh, yes. So I've been inspired by Rob and mostly figuring out what Mixcloud is for. Since I don't know why I didn't think you could do that sort of thing on Mixcloud. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. But yeah, so the Sonic Emporium, which I had basically given up on having as a radio show and just was doing his playlists, is now a radio show. By God. And it's on Mixcloud. And if you go to needcoffee.com/emporium, that's where the category is with all of what will be the show notes. The first show notes are up there. And I'm finishing up the second show right now. So
I haven't figured out how to do show notes in mine yet.
Well, but that's why I'm doing mine separately on the site.
He's just doing it on the website.
Yeah.
But the one thing they'll let you do on Mixcloud is you can put the track list up.
Yes.
So, but that's it.
Yes. Well, that's okay. So, kids, listen to it.
No,
And hopefully we'll get it on a platform too of other things.
The fact that both of you guys were doing that actually inspired me to talk to my co-host, and we're going to bring, not regularly, but we're going to periodically bring the musical theater show back and just do it on Mixcloud.
Yes, please do.
We're like, why
Nice.
the fuck let a radio station not to play too much behind the scenes with something that is not my business to talk about, but don't let
I
a
was
radio
thinking
show.
about doing just a completely separate show on my own and throwing it up on Mixcloud too. But
Yeah.
then I'm like, no, you have to sleep.
but
Someday I'll have time to do something.
but yeah, you don't let radio stations tell you what you can and cannot do and when you need to do them, especially when part of the reason that the podcast revolution was important to begin with was it took the power away from the radio stations and put things back in the hands of people and gave listening back to your schedule, like other forms of entertainment as opposed to the radio.
Yeah,
So,
and please bring
I'm
your
very
feedback.
happy that you're doing this, Wedge. It's great.
Yes,
No, thanks, man.
I am too.
Yes,
I'm really glad that idea kind of escaped the smoldering ashes of my station. So, congratulations on that one.
Oh yes, thank you. That's right. I did the first pilot. I did the pilot on Randomizer.
I think we got like 2 or 3 episodes in, and then it all just.
Yeah. Well, that's why that's why I contacted you when I realized what we could. I was like, apparently it works. I put it up, and they haven't shot me down yet.
It's like that's
It's on you, Toughly. Now it's you.
Someday I will have time to like do things.
And now
the other thing is.
that,
The other thing is, everybody who's got the remote freelance life can find pockets of time to do things.
no, I can't.
People who have to go into a building for 8 hours a day and do a thing and then come home.
Time,
Have the
Jesus.
ability to.
I don't
Time is nothing
go
but a
into
construct, man.
I don't go into a building for 8 hours. I go into a vehicle for several hours.
Well,
Hey,
okay,
man,
but that's
he's got to deal with more public people than we do. He's the guy.
that is
gets the
true.
fucking-
He has to
gets
deal
the
with more
fucking
people.
medal.
Yes,
Yeah.
that is true.
I try to stay away from people.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I would never consider you guys people.
Thank
Oh,
you.
well, thank you.
I would just consider you all as
that would
people
just be
like Matt.
insulting.
He only considers Soylent Green people.
Only considers what?
But see, Toughly, if you do
Soylent
one, then
Green people.
it's a
That's-
full
Oh,
on.
right.
But then that's where the nutrients come from, and that's important.
If you do one Toughly, then it's a full on Need Coffee radio station, and that would be great.
I will try to do something.
I think we like Toughly's like, welcome to my radio show. Here's 20 minutes of this. Good
I'll
night.
tell you, and one of the reasons I'm looking forward to not having terrestrial radio standards is it means that I can actually play. There's enough modern Broadway that is not clean that I'm just like, oh yeah, I can finally play like the song "What the Fuck Was That" from the Evil Dead musical, which is beautiful,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
and stuff like that. So,
JJ, we saw Tootsie last week.
how was it?
The songs have swear words in them were really good, and I'm wondering if I see the Broadway version, it was better, but it could have been so much better.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And performance
JJ.
means everything. That's like I was telling Widge after I saw Wicked. I'd heard the music for Wicked and did not care for it.
Yeah.
Saw it live and went, oh shit!
That's how it was for me too. Yeah,
This is the show.
We're seeing it again in a couple weeks, I think, and then I think we're done for the season of crap we have to see for musicals.
Yes.
JJ,
Yes.
did you watch and or like Schmigadoon?
No, I have not seen it. I like the cast, and I'm interested in Chicago.
Yeah. So that's what I was gonna say. Is that the new episodes
That's
are coming
tomorrow,
out?
right?
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah.
again, maybe that'll fit into that Ted Lasso.
So when I come home tomorrow, I can watch that. When I come home from the radio station tomorrow, I can do that and my Ted Lasso. Nice.
Yeah. So JJ, then you have 1 month of viewing, all blocked out, just Apple TV.
Yeah, I mean it's not like Apple TV's that expensive. The thing is though that because everything is spread out onto so many different things that you have that one that you're like, okay, well, I'll get Apple TV for this month and then I'll watch Ted Lasso and the surrounding stuff. And when that's done, then I'll get Paramount Plus with Showtime to watch Yellow Jackets, and then I'll get rid of that. But you have to wait till everything comes out, and you just sort of have that one rogue station that you kind of will of the wisp go for.
Yeah. There's a Broadway streaming channel that's really great that I do not have yet, but when I've seen it at other people's that have it, it's pretty great.
Nice.
And I strongly recommend the National Theater channel.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the Criterion channel for a little while, but the search on that is fucking awful, and you can't find anything.
I need to get
this
that.
Great fucking channel, but it's impossible to find what you want to watch.
Yeah, I know. But
I think what I've done is with that, because I've got the Criterion channel, is I will actually just search on the web, because the Criterion channel website has a better search than the fucking like TV app or Apple app.
Yeah, I do like the Just Watch app too, because you can just type in anything and it'll tell you where it's streaming and when.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which has been really helpful. So, and it was really cool. If you get a chance, Showtime was free last week, so I got to watch Meet Me in the Bathroom, which is the documentary that's based on the book about the 2000s indie scene in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Toughly and I are the only people that care here. So, but yes. Other than I don't care about Showtime. So, good times.
So, recommendations.
Recommendations. I guess I could go.
Who wants to go first?
I could go.
Go, Tough Lake.
Oh, Rob, sorry. In advance. New Pornographers have a new album out called Continuous Guest. That was pretty good. Boy Genius finally put their album out. It's called The Record. It's really good. The Nationals got a record that comes out at the end of the month called The First Two Pages of Frankenstein, and what I've heard of it so far is really good. So enjoy that. Your De La Soul Record of the Month Club selection this month is the second one. It's called De La Soul is Dead. It is available digitally as we speak, and as I guess by the time this comes out, the physical editions are available. Go forth. Balloon Mind State is next, and that's next month. I will recommend a little bit of a reissue action. So Rhino is re-releasing. They did this earlier this year, so I got the single album version. But later, I think this month, they're coming out with a reissue of their previous box set, which was for the Velvet Underground's Loaded. They're coming back out with the fully reloaded edition, which hasn't been in print since 2015. And I really, really like the Rhino reissue stuff. And if they're just going to make a habit of bringing stuff back out of the archives, I got a couple of suggestions. But I got like I said, I got the single version of Loaded that came out earlier this year as part of the Atlantic reissues. So go find that. And I'm done.
Done.
Cool.
How's the vinyl?
Thank you, Tough Lake.
Vinyl is coming. As someone mentioned earlier, I have not been buried by it. The room seems still terribly non-crowded, so we seem to be okay.
Time.
I know. Here's the thing, and the thing with this is, so Bandcamp Fridays. Bandcamp Fridays have been a thing for the last couple of years where I have wanted to support bands that couldn't tour. By buying extremely large amounts of merch from them. And part of the reason I'm buying a lot of newer vinyl for two reasons on Bandcamp, in most cases that I've noticed, Bandcamp, and when you buy the vinyl, it comes with the digital copy.
Yes.
Which is cool. The second reason is I'm desperately running out of room for t-shirts, so I can't buy any more t-shirts for a while. So unless I purge something.
Well, you'd have more room for t-shirts if you weren't buying all that vinyl.
I know, but there's shelf space and there's also closet space. And closet space and shelf space are in fact two different things. So the vinyl looks better on the shelf than the t-shirts do. So, but I am running out of room, but I would still like to participate in the obscene amounts of merch I buy on Bandcamp Fridays. So I do go the vinyl route now. Although I will point out that Bandcamp was just purchased by Epic Games. So you guys can afford to keep Bandcamp Fridays going if you want to just keep reducing those fees for the bands. That'd be cool too. You can afford it.
What makes my arthritic knees really happy?
What?
Not carrying a big fucking crate of vinyl everywhere.
Well, I don't carry any vinyl anywhere.
Yeah, my vinyl is home.
Oh, you will.
I don't.
When we get home slice a DJ gig, it's gonna happen.
Oh God.
That's why I have digital files and a laptop.
Yeah, I had a place that wanted me to DJ, and I'm like, great, can I bring my laptop? No, we're vinyl only. I'm like, yeah, have a good time. And
okay, have fun with that.
And am I on the patio? No, you're inside only. You have a really fucking good time.
You know what? I'll do better than that. You said no laptops. I got everything on my phone, motherfuckers. Here we go.
I got Spotify. Let's go. I pay for a premium membership.
I know how to hit shuffle.
JJ, talk to me about the Spotify. I know how you can make that work for radio.
We actually do.
You guys using Citify?
No, I will talk to you more about that because the problem I have with that is that my co-host lives he's the one who actually does the recording on his end. That because we use Spotify, he doesn't have access to. He only has UK shit because he's in Wales.
There's like a region lock thing, isn't there?
Yeah,
and
so
universal Spotify.
Apparently not.
No.
Okay, we'll talk later.
Because there's country lock.
Hypothetically, we will talk later about this.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
In the legalities of country locks.
This shouldn't.
Whatever.
That makes no sense. If the information superhighway is there to where we know the shit's there, that the only thing they do by country locks is encourage piracy.
You know, the only good thing about me having to go to a building to work for 8 hours a day is that building IP on their Wi-Fi is in Wales.
Nice.
So on lunch breaks, it's Channel 4 and iPlayer, folks. That's what that is. So, and it's legal because the IP is already in Wales.
Channel 4 or Radio 6 are the way to go. But
exactly.
Yeah. Actually, Soundgarden, man. Or Radio Garden. Oh my God.
Radio Garden is dangerous.
And FIP.
But yeah, basically the when I'm adding stuff to playlists that I cannot find for the US, if you search on Google, you can add it to the playlist so that when it mysteriously becomes available again, because shit falls off and comes back on to country regions for it'll reappear. So it's grayed out.
Yeah.
It's still on the playlist, but it's grayed out until it's active. So
WEJ, I'm also throwing you another promo opportunity here. I have not been able to find the frame on Spotify in like the last month.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's the frame, and the name of the album is Still We Play On.
Okay. I didn't
and
look it up by the album.
as far as I know, there it is.
Okay, because I looked under the frame, and it was just like 10,000 frames, and I listened to so many terrible bands called The Frame.
Yep, there has been.
Yeah. Okay.
But so Still We Play On. That's the album.
Okay.
So has anybody tried AMP?
No, I don't like AMP.
AMP as in the thing that loads
Amazon
like
one.
Amazon Music Player, whatever, music producer or whatever.
Spotify had Anchor, and I think they just merged that into the main app.
Yeah, and
or
generally
Spotify for podcasters now is what they're calling it.
Yeah, and Spotify, as much as I hate what Spotify does to artists, they've got a deeper catalog. So, my reconciling with that is, one, I still buy the music by the artist, and two, me playing them on the radio and championing them is in some way giving them some sort of focus and money they wouldn't have with my 7 listeners. So there you go. Definitely, you know what?
And if you add my 2 listeners to it, then we're an army.
See, the thing is, I used to have when I had the streaming station, when I was doing that, when I took the streaming station online, I kept the software that I was using to run the station, and you could actually use that to feed back into a file.
Yeah.
So you could have the multiple decks, and you could have the mic mixing, and you could have all of that within the same kind of frame.
Yeah.
It was a super old Windows XP era program, which I don't even have anymore. I think it was some version of spatial audio that I was using to just like record it. That's how I would record those early music podcasts.
Same here.
Because I had like that whole software set up.
Well, if I come down in June, we'll find like a mortuary or something and record like a show or something. I'm serious, man. That's the best place to go. I've got a friend of mine who works in one, and they've got a grief room that's perfect for sound. You can't hear any mics it's like perfect.
Yeah, I think the thing I'm working on, the first step for me to like get that would be to have like a way to record all of that again. Because I had a really good setup, and I'm like, I really liked that. So
if I can fucking do it, anybody can.
No, I realize, but
I mean, if I can do it,
the other part is I just have to have time. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the house right now. So
I get it. I don't have time either, but you know what? It's like, well, do you want me not grumpy for 7 hours a week? Although last week was the hardest fucking show to do because it kept storming, and then it kept moving the tracks from the beginning of the show to the middle, so I had to keep physically moving everything back over to the left. It was a fucking night. So I just rebooted and everything was fine, but I had to re-record from the beginning again. And then I decided I didn't like the way something sounded, so I changed everything. And then I knew Janet put up with me.
And you're saying I'd have time for this?
It's gloriously satisfying. When I figured out how to make the trumpets in Camera Obscura's Razzle Dazzle Road work with Ennio Morricone, it made my week. And I literally spent hours on this because I have nothing better to do with my time. And I don't have to see people. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's because Tuffley likes people. That's what it is.
Well, don't like jaded people. I just have to see.
Does he like people?
I have to see.
Yeah, I think he tolerates people sometimes.
I think he likes people more than you and I do.
Well, I mean,
okay, yeah, probably in terms of, yes, probably.
Yeah, I mean, by comparison.
If the only comparison is the two of you, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
If the two of you were the base level of that, then yes.
Yeah. Tuffley looks positively well adjusted compared to the two of us.
Yeah, he would be the Scooter to our Statler and Waldorf, basically.
That's just setting it up. That's just setting up future therapy.
My God, that's brilliant.
It all started to go downhill when we said I was well adjusted.
Well, to be fair, you and John are probably the two most well-adjusted people here.
Yeah, God knows my therapist would not put me on that list.
Yeah. Mine was just like, do you sleep? And I'm like, no.
Hey, that's something else my therapist always telling me to do. Sleep.
I was up till 5 a.m. outside the house the other day. It was amazing.
Well, that's because Janet locked you out again.
No, she was asleep.
No, don't give her any credit. He lost the keys.
No. There are no keys. It's like Little House on the Prairie. We just leave all the doors.
So who's next for recommendations?
Sorry.
I was going to say, are we in recommendations?
I was about to say, when he goes to blow up half of St. Louis because the railroad just can't have it, damn it.
We're recommending therapy.
Yes. Always recommending therapy.
And of course, Rox isn't here on the week I saw a hobo jump from a train to tell her about it. So I'll message her later. It was awesome.
Okay.
All right, Rob, are you going? What's happening?
Oh, I can go. I didn't know I was next.
You're
you just popped up on the screen. Yep.
Oh, that's what that terrifying thing is. So first, a couple things that are coming to theaters, but also streaming in a month or so. First is Little Richard, I Am Everything, the new documentary about Little Richard, which is friggin' amazing. Everybody talks. They literally got everybody to talk about Little Richard. I mean, they got like Keith Richards. They got Mick Jagger. They got McCartney, and I had forgot that Hendrix started off with playing with Little Richard. I forgot about that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I forgot that him and Ray Charles played together early on, and it's amazing. It's absolutely great. And then there's a documentary that's dropping this week called The Lost Weekend, which is about May Pang and John Lennon. And they're basically, and I literally knew nothing about this because
he's apparently doing. May Pang has been doing press on this.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they're both really, really, really pretty great and awesome. And then Tuffley's the only person. Well, John might care too, but in sports, I saw the movie Air about the making of Michael Jordan's Air Jordan.
How is that?
It's actually really good. It's really, really good.
Yeah. I'm interested because again, that's my area. That are not my area.
For your house, and I'm like, "Where's JJ?" This is.
I'm in an apartment.
Yeah. Where's the bus driver named JJ that's in this movie?
I wasn't a bus driver then.
But it's good to have Chris Tucker back. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And Jason Bateman really is a good little actor.
Has been since fucking Silver Spoons.
Why are you traumatizing me? Wow.
Wow.
I mean, fuck Silver Spoons, fuck Jason, or fuck Ricky Schroeder. But Jason Bateman, when I was a kid, I watched that show because I liked Jason Bateman. And then they gave him a show called We Got It.
Your Move.
Or It's Your Move. I almost called it We Got It Made. That was the Terry Copley one.
Yeah.
Because why do I have all the shit in my brain? I don't know.
No, I'm glad somebody else does though. So
but
that's good.
Yeah, where they the only episode I remember that show wholeheartedly is when he wanted to get a metal band to play his school, and they ended up doing the Grateful Dead Touch of Grey, like puppeteering skeletons to play a metal band.
Nice.
Yeah, but no, he's been a good actor since then. So yes. Sorry. Yes.
So I haven't seen Ozark, but yeah, that's also Quasi has a record called Breaking the Balls of History, which also has the best album title of the year.
That's pretty good.
They haven't made a record in like 15 years, and the whole thing is like really good. So that's really solid. And then just dropping today was the new Louise Post, who I knew a little bit in college in St. Louis, but she is formerly of Veruca Salt, and she's got a solo album coming, which is also great. So
nice.
And the new national record, which is also fantastic. So yeah, I think that's it.
Cool. Thanks, Rob. All right, JJ, what have you got?
Well, as I just picked up last week, I picked up I say new, but it's new because it just came out on vinyl. The new Open Mike Eagle, which is stereo system with a auto reverse, component system with the auto reverse. I love Open Mike Eagle. It is a great album. So that was a good pickup. I also just picked up. It's nice having somebody you know and adore work in a comic book shop, because this came out earlier. It came out late last year, but I just picked this up, which is the Peter David Omnibus X Factor 2. It is.
Yeah, that doubles as a weapon.
And that is one of my absolute favorite comic book runs of all time.
How far does that go? How far does that one go?
I don't know. I'll find.
I know that's not the whole run.
No, it can't.
Or else it would need to be the size of the Thor one I've got around here.
Yeah. Well, at least goes far enough that Longshot's on the team.
Okay.
So it goes a ways.
That's pretty far into the run, actually.
Yeah, because I see Darwin and Longshot here towards the end.
Yeah.
Longshot, you're cosplaying as Longshot's hair right now, aren't you?
Wow, really?
I don't have a mullet.
Didn't he have the? I thought he had the ponytail.
No.
Didn't he? Oh no, I'm thinking of Scatterstar or Shatterstar.
Shatterstar. Okay,
Shatterstar.
But even then, to really do Shatterstar, you've got to have the facial padded buttresses to fit your ponytail.
You've got to have the curtain. You've got to have the curtain and the ponytail.
Yeah.
Really.
As Doc has referred to Longshot and Shatterstar in Marvel Strike Force, he calls them the Mojo Mullets.
Although, to be fair, are they still related? Or did they retcon that out?
Yeah, I think they are. In the game, people tried to call them the Dad Bros, and I'm like, no, Mojo Mullets is much better.
Yeah, last I heard, they were kind of hinting that he was the offspring of
Dazzler and Longshot.
Dazzler and Longshot, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's and I get the other thing I will recommend, just because this is something I haven't read yet, but my roommate just finished it and she loved it so much that I'm so excited to read it that I can't help but recommend it. It's a book by Grady Hendrix called How to Sell a Haunted House. And this is apparently one of those things that it's a horror genre book that booksellers are spreading the word about. But it's kind of a so Grady Hendrix writes very funny books that are also successfully very scary, and they're also sort of a southern, from what I understand, I don't want to say southern gothic, but it's definitely the way Elizabeth described it to me is that she said that you can, even though he doesn't write with the southern dialect, you can tell by the way they're speaking that he obviously grew up in the South. Just like the phrases and the way they use words, you can just feel that he knows what he's writing about. And so she read the book in less than a week. And when there was only about 15 pages left, she was like, I have no idea where this is going to go. And, but I hope he sticks the landing. And then later she was like, he fucking nailed it. And so I have not been so excited to read a book in a while. So even though I haven't read it yet, I have every faith I will absolutely adore it. But yeah, he's also written like First Girl Survivor Club. And he wrote another one it's about vampires that has
He did My Best Friend's Exorcism, which they turned into a movie.
Yeah. And apparently he's fucking great. So.
Okay, cool.
And I'm always excited to find new horror novelists that can stick the ending.
Sticking the ending is hard.
Yeah. Endings are rough. So I think that's what I got.
Cool. All right. Thanks, JJ. John, what have you got?
Why, hello.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going?
Hi.
Hi, John.
So I'm gonna two shows and a movie. That's what I got.
Okay.
First of all, on Amazon Prime, there's a Australian comedy series called Class of '07, and it's basically Yellow Jackets if it was a tidal wave that stranded them in the middle during their 10-year reunion. That's sort of how I would describe this. These women are back at their all-girls school reunion 10 years later, and a apocalyptic tidal wave, basically, or whatever. Some water rises up to the top of this mountain that they're on, and pretty much it's water world everywhere else, but we don't know that until sort of the end. But they're trying to build a ship to go find people or whatever. But anyway, it's really funny. It's really engaging, and it's Australian, so put your captions on. The other series is over on Paramount Plus, which is Rabbit Hole, starring Kiefer Sutherland. It's only got 3 episodes out so far. It's sort of a how does Wikipedia says spy thriller.
It looks very heisty.
Sure, I'll go with that. But it's more of a psychological thing, trying to figure out. It's more like that Memento sort of thing where they're trying to figure out. This is not giving anything away because in the very first 15 minutes of the show they establish this. They run basically. Kiefer Sutherland runs a company that sort of puts things in motion to make you look bad to get a certain outcome, say to tank a stock, something like things like that, manipulating people's minds or
financial espionage,
corporate, yes, exactly, that kind of thing. Yeah. And then he starts to fall down a rabbit hole of his own psychology and everything that's going on around him. Anyway, so it's so far very good, very well done, very heady though. So it's not something I would binge necessarily because it's got a lot of stuff that goes on there. Last thing is I would like to recommend Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
So that is good.
It is actually a pleasant film. That's what I'm going to call it.
I was surprised
it hits
by that one.
Yeah, it hits every Dungeons and Dragons trope, a typical, adventure, if you will, that you would play out at your tables. You get you get all the acts. It's again, there was somebody said on a review or something and said that look, this could become a franchise, could not become a franchise, but either way, it's perfectly fine. If it becomes a franchise, yeah, I'll go see the next film. Sure. If it doesn't,
I know they've got
great.
So they're doing a TV show in the same universe. They've already announced this.
Oh, okay.
Huh.
They're doing a TV show in the same rough timeline as the movies. So they're doing the concurrent TV show with the next probable.
And the movie is I'll have to watch it again. I'm not going to go back to the theater and watch it again, but I will watch it when it's streaming. To catch all the extra Easter eggs. I mean, there's tons of Easter eggs in there.
Oh, there's a lot.
They name check practically every planet, every place in the Dungeons and Dragons lore. I mean, literally, if you've played Dungeons and Dragons, even if you haven't, it's just a fun. Basically, it's a heist film, essentially.
Yeah, it's the best way to look at it because if you try to start going, well, it's a fantasy film, but it's a comedy. It's a heist film. That's the best way to put it.
And
it's a funny heist film.
Exactly, and it's very much a throwback to sort of the late 80s type of films where they were just fun to go watch, and that was it.
And it
almost
wasn't
immediately
too
forgettable,
self-aware.
Right.
It wasn't too self-aware on the jokes, which is nice because it didn't do the Jumanji thing, which I appreciated.
I've been loving watching Chris Pine and Hugh Grant do press for this together.
Yes.
It's like the oddest double act that works. Yeah.
And they were I mean, all the characters were sufficiently campy, and I could in my mind I can imagine just that's that guy that I used to play with that would do this kind of obnoxious thing.
I'm not for sure about this, but it seemed like people were doing different versions of the same accent throughout the film. And it seemed to be okay because that's what people would do in a game session. Somebody's going to try an accent at some point and it's going to be bad. Just hang on and they'll try it again.
So, yeah, go out, check it. Try to see it in the film theaters?
In the film theater.
In the moviegoers? No,
in the film
movie
theater
sitting
picture
place?
show place.
At the theater.
The late night motion picture feature show.
Yes.
There we go. Hey, actually, anyway, I was just wondering if this would be suitable for one of those late night sort of viewings, but it's not sufficiently campy enough like circa Rocky Horror Picture Show or something like that.
The Dungeons and Dragons movie from 20 years ago.
Or that. Yeah, so it's not like that.
Or anyway. Either of the two UE Bowl ones.
So go
I'm not
see
bitter about those.
Go outside. Risk COVID. The pandemic's over for all I can tell.
You do live in Florida.
It was over. Hey, in Florida, the pandemic ended. This is where the pandemic went to die.
It's the orange juice.
No, that's where all the senior
inside of
citizens
lots
that
of
die.
die.
Everything goes to die.
Yeah, so go to the movie theater, see that,
including several theatrical careers.
I hear library books go there to die.
Oh,
that's not. It's. Sad,
I heard
sure.
that on a happier note the D&D movie kind of, the sense of humor kind of captures that feeling of playing around and goofing around with a bunch of friends, and you other people do shit that you don't understand why they do it, and so I mean, they're not going to completely capture that unless one character disappears 3/4 of the way through the film because they got too drunk and fell asleep. And so the party had to continue on without them.
Well,
and I'm not saying that doesn't happen.
Well, there is one guy that. Just
there is one guy, right? Yes,
nice.
It just appears in okay.
The guy from Bridgerton leaves like in the middle of the movie. But
I mean, okay, well then that
you get
wholeheartedly.
You get his whole. You get it's so freaking brilliant. It's well done and everything, but you get his whole backstory. Just having the whole, he gets, it's like someone just wrote it up, and then he's like, okay, and I did all my work. I'm leaving. See ya.
Does feel like playing D&D then.
Yeah, right. I did. The part that I liked was creating this character. Okay, I'm leaving.
There's my tortured backstory. I have to go now.
Yeah. Yes, there's no more. We're only gonna.
I have to go shopping. I'll be back in 7 hours.
I can't make it every week, guys. I can only make it sometimes. So my character has to come in and out. So there we go. So Dungeons and Dragons, and also go check out Class of 07 over on Amazon Prime. The best way to get to Amazon Prime is just to go to needcoffee.com/Amazon/Prime, and it'll get you right there. Maybe.
Well, John is correct as always. Is that if you go to needcoffee.com/Amazon, you will wind up on the front page of Amazon, just like you've gone to the front page of Amazon because you've gone to the front page of Amazon. So yes, if you do that and you buy things during that session, we get kickbacks for whatever you purchase, no matter how big or how small. So we appreciate it. It helps, as Rob says, keep the lights on. The one recommendation I'm going to make is a YouTube channel called Casual Geographic. And it is a guy who is doing mini nature documentaries, and they're hilarious. The best way I can describe his style is he did an entire thing about the honey badger and referred to it as an assault Oreo. Yes, a great place to start is he did one about the capybara and why, because I'm a big fan of capybaras, and why they are so chill despite living in places where things want to end them all the time. And this guy also has a book out called 100, I believe the title is 100 Animals That Can Fucking End You. So I like him. He makes me laugh a lot.
Are they all in Australia?
What's that?
Are all the animals in Australia?
No, not all of them. But he does make reference to Australia often as a place that you could go to find all manner of things that want to kill you, like the ocean. He's not a big fan of going in the oceans, so we have that in common. But yeah, Casual Geographic, that is the YouTube channel to go look for. So yes, I think with that, somehow we have managed to find our way to we found our way to the red, white, and blue school bus of Oblivion, hiding somewhere in the mountains of chaos, and that is why we've come to the end of this episode of Weekend Justice, and we should simply say, Florida.
Fucking Florida.
Florida.
How could you, Florida?
Florida. Oh. John, what have you done?
I asked ChatGPT to tell me about JJ's life, and this is what it wrote.
That was brilliant.
And I've never been named Jack before.
That's I didn't know the first J stood for Jack.
It doesn't. It stands for Jason.
Well, I'll
It's
correct
Jack
them.
now.
Let me correct our overlords.
It don't know Jack.
Well, this is another fine mess Bing has gotten us.
Wait, that's true, JJ. They said you lived in Florida when you obviously didn't. Did they lie about your name?
I have seen my birth certificate, but is it mine? My parents gave it to me.
It was drawn on the
and
back
now this
of
has become a Quinn Martin production. The hell?
Yeah, it's suddenly existential crisis time.
Maybe I wasn't actually born in Lompoc, California. I don't know.
I only have their word for it. I wasn't cognizant.
It was the one-armed man.
This is when the Matrix starts to fall apart.
I know.
All of a sudden, we realize JJ's been the center of the universe the entire time.
Oh, fuck no.
His Truman Show moment is about to occur.
That's why I always say I'm somewhere in a coma dreaming all of this, and when I wake up, it's going to be hell to pay.
Yeah. When I was in like roughly 7th grade, my dad and I were driving across the bridge going into New Orleans from Mississippi. There's that long ass like I-5 bridge. It's like a 45-minute bridge, and I fell asleep. And when we got to the other side, I woke up and I was like, "Oh, I didn't even know if I fell asleep." And my dad went, "You didn't. You're asleep now." And we're still on the bridge. And I've secretly believed since then, at some point I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna be in fucking 7th grade again, and I'm gonna be on that goddamn bridge. And this was a horrible dream.
See, now I've got that. When you were saying that, I've got the whole Talking Heads Road to Nowhere stuck in my head.
Good baseline.
Yeah.
Help me.
By the way, the ending of the story for them is that you do eventually form. This is so weird, JJ. You eventually form a band of superheroes. I'm not kidding. Called the Red, White, and Blue Brigade. They lived on. This is the last line. And so the Red, White, and Blue Brigade lived on, fighting for justice and defending their world from harm. And though Jack missed his old life, he knew he had found a new family in his new home.
You guys will never lie to me, would you?
This is the worst Lifetime movie ever.
I don't know, man. James Gunn's probably hiring him to write a movie now.
Oh, good Lord.
Anyway.
Florida.
On that note,
Florida.
We should all run away.
Florida! Exclamation point.
Run away from Florida.
Yes,
please,
everyone.
Florida,
as quickly
run
as you
away.
can.
Yes,
as far away as you can.
It's the one place you can get a bus to anywhere else.
Oh, good night, everybody.
Good night, Tuffley. Good night, John. Good night, Rob. Good night, Jack.
All right, kids, you take